Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
That's how we got to push it right there, because we don't got no friends. We ain't got no friends, family. It's all about what we do for ourselves strategically. I think my brother Marcel made a point, and he's talking about only way we need to vote for anybody is to weaponize somebody against another person. That's how you are. That's how you a hustler. Y'all know we invented the hustle. FBA, we invented that. These love affairs with politicians, nobody has love affairs with politicians, okay? That's been something that's been brought to our community by the bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie has put a stain on the political process for Black Americans for years, y'all, that we are just now getting out of. And that's why I always talk about this generation being extra special. It shouldn't have been this way. But this notion that you got to love every single politician, they can't do no damn wrong, they your best friends, they'll walk through a fire to come get you, they'll climb up a tree to save a cat. Nobody thinks that. You go to the community, they say, I'm going to go vote, and you're going to give me something in return. We're going to go home. We ain't got to shake hands. You go to the Latino community. I'm going to vote for you. You give me something. Going home. We ain't got to shake hands. It was only the bourgeoisie that taught us when you vote for somebody, you got to love them and you got to fight them. Black folks were the only people out here fighting their own family members over politicians. How off code is that? And let's be real. You was fighting your family members, Black folks, over typically a man. Let's be real. Obama's really a man, if you really want to go there. So they were fighting their own family members over politicians that weren't even Black. If you want to understand why we've been in a political hole for 60 years, it's because of that behavior. On top of about 15 other instances where people were putting these politicians on some pedestal and having love affairs. We have no emotion. We're going to this table as businessmen and women, and we're telling them, you're going to have to run something or we're not voting for you. It's a simple demand. And guess what? It's the same thing everybody else does. The emotional days are done, y'all. We're not on that emotional train. That emotional train got folks in a hole. That emotional train is why everybody's above us. I want y'all to think about this. Look at every statistic of Black Americans. Look where we rank in the community of America. And it's a direct result of voting for the Democrats. It's nobody else, because only the Democrats give the institutional power to these people to oppress us. They always tell us, family, y'all got to go vote because voting is the only thing that changes something. Well, we voted in, nothing's ever changed. So isn't that them basically admitting that their policies have failed us? They tell us that voting means everything. We vote for them and we get nothing. So in 1 minute it's everything, and the next minute it's nothing. That ain't a good exchange. That's not a proper exchange. And it shows you directly that the Democrats are the reason why we are where we are. So this is why folks got to get off the plantation. I don't give a damn what you vote for, who you vote for. Just do not vote for the Democratic plantation, because now it's time that they feel the fire. It's the same thing that they've been putting on to us, family. It's time we put it back on to them. And this is the change that we all are instituting. And I want everyone to look back on this generation and say, that's the generation right there that turned all this around. That's the generation that didn't take no, you know what. That's the generation that stood on business. That's the generation that let the whole world know it's going to be FBA or nothing at all. And once that's established and once that's known, then everything else will fall into place. And we're going to go from the bottom of a lot of those statistics right on up the ladder where we deserve to be. Because remember, we created this country. I got my brother B Zilla. Go ahead, family.
Man, what's going on, my good brother? Good to see you on another space. And how is everything going on out in your direction, my brother?
Man, you know, living good, that Georgia lifestyle, man. It's probably about 89 degrees today, family, and I'm just living that certified life, you know.
Yes, sir. Same here, man. We over here with that good thunder and lightning today. But, you know, one thing I want to say about voting against Kamala, no matter who, that's the thing. People don't understand. It's not just Kamala Harris that has a problem out of Black folks. It's the Democrats as a whole. And she's just been put in the position to really represent what they are pushing, which is, of course, anti-Black empowerment agenda. So if you really look at everything that she is pushing right now, number one is death. Number two, there's a certain, the gender divide is coming back right around. And if you're looking at it, they've doubled down on like the let's chastise Black men thing. this is something that they're trying to do, because as with Kamala Harris losing, it'll be about black women losing, black women this and that. So what they'll do is take our lack of support for Kamala Harris and push that more so into this misogynistic issue. Because if you're looking at what we're about to do, 2 weeks from now, less than 2 weeks at this point, the whole conversation of who's going to be elected should be done. So now what's the next phase for the Democrats to ignore black empowerment? Find some kind of argument to start putting in the mix, so you start having black folks beefing with each other over gender. So I'm just noticing these are the things that they're doing. Another reason not to vote for Kamala Harris. Now, here's the byproduct of that. Say Donald Trump actually wins. Last time that y'all saw folks get active and get in the streets, that pull-up era, it was because he was in office and the blinders were off of everybody in America. Getting Democrats back in office has been one of the biggest detriments to the empowerment move at this point. And what they have been able to do was just say, okay, we got Joe Biden in office, so at the end of the day, racism is over. But now we are seeing that's not the case. And so these people are on alert. And now you're going to start seeing the conservative voices, especially the black ones, and you're going to be seeing the Democratic voices, the DNC shields. Both of them are going to start talking against reparations at this point. Why? Because the true black agenda is the order of the day. And so for all of y'all and all of the voices in here and all of y'all speaking, give yourselves a round of applause, because of this medium right here, the couch is a mainstream candidate. And that's insane. But again, man, that's the power to black unity right there. And even if we don't have a party, we have collectively with our voices made a point to say, you got to look at us, you got to pay attention to us. And with today, what happened with Kamala Harris going to the black churches, let me tell y'all something. That's not Jamaican. That's not Indian. None of it has anything to do with a connection of our community. But now she is really trying to over-blackify it by sitting up here like she's grown up like we have. Now you got busters like Common going out, she understands our struggle because she grew up with us. Absolutely not. And they're trying to pass off a fraud, using us once again as their faithful mule to get their agenda done. And I say no more. I hope all of y'all feel the same way I do. And so I just want to give my 2 cents, man. That's why you absolutely cannot vote for Kamala Harris. And I'll go a step further. You might really seriously want to consider going anti-blue down ballot. That's just my take on it at this point, because if their target is on us, how are we supposed to take that? Should we not respond by saying, okay, you want us out the paint, well then let us vote you out the paint. Now, with that being said, my brother, I'll toss it back to you, man. Salute to you, Black First, family.
Much respect. Before you go, family, I got to ask you a question, family. In terms of the migrant situation out there on the West Coast, okay? Because we see it down south, we see it on the East Coast, we see it in the Midwest, but sometimes in the West Coast, it kind of gets jumped over because there's so many of them folks out there. What's going on in terms of what you see? Because I remember you saying that there's enclaves and they got special benefits and it's the same damn thing like Chicago. What's up with the migrant crisis? Because you know Kamala don't bring it up and the Democrats don't bring it up. So we going to bring it up.
Man, I'm glad you asked me. So I'm glad you brought it to my mind. So Hacienda, which is a project that they have here, has a, I guess, on the tip of what used to be our old neighborhood, same street I live on, or used to live on rather. There's a enclave called Hacienda, and they have row houses, they have apartment buildings, they have an apartment complex that they just recently built, and they also have a daycare and a school. All of this is funded by taxpayers. And the other thing that they offer, because I know a lot of people they're trying to push Kamala Harris's tax rebate for, I guess it would be basically a down payment match is what she's offering. So you would get a tax credit for your $25,000. Here's what they're doing, though, right here in this city for illegal immigrants. And no, if you're a citizen, you are not eligible for this. They don't have to worry about having $36,000 to put a down payment on the house. No. Hacienda, through this program, gives them the $36,000 initially for their down payment to now get a home and purchase a home. So the whole thing that they're promoting that this is for black men, let me tell you what they're doing in my own city for the illegals. And this is a program that legitimately citizens cannot apply for. So just so you know about the enclaves, that's just what they're doing for the illegal Latinos. The stuff that they're doing for the illegal Africans, that ain't even, it's almost like that's not even on the books. But if I walk 5 minutes, I guess that would be north. 5 minutes north from me, I'm walking past a huge, and I'm talking about maybe a couple blocks worth of apartment complexes built and filled with nothing but Africans. I mean, I'm talking about nothing. All these folks are like Somalian. And so I don't know who and how these people got here, but these are the things that our taxpayers, that we're paying for, our money is going to, and we don't even know that these people are here and they're getting all kind of benefits. And recently, with this newest wave of immigrants coming in, they're getting jobs at Amazon. They're working for DoorDash. They're working for Uber. And what they have to do to deliver for Amazon is they got a person that's riding with them that speaks English, or they'll use their phone as a translator. So this is just the stuff that's going on here. They're giving these people not only to mention handouts, paying their rent, and helping them get cars with no interest loans. They are giving them middle class paying jobs. So this is the stuff that's just going on here in Portland, Oregon. If I don't know what's going on in y'all cities, but they're doing a lot of this underhanded stuff, and we in the city don't even know what's going on. And so that's the type of stuff with the illegals that's going on in my side of the neck of the woods, brother.
Man, oh man, brother, I appreciate that. That was a whole bunch of game right there. Yes, yes. This is what we seeing, y'all, across the 50 states. There is a migrant crisis that's a shadow that the Democrats have not addressed. If you look at every single poll, the average American talks about inflation, which is the economy, and they talk about immigration. I want y'all to tell me when you've seen Kamala Harris address it. She doesn't. She just goes into that word salad and she starts talking about Donald Trump. They blame Donald Trump for the illegal immigration crisis. Now, come on, y'all. Y'all know damn well one of Trump's mainstays is closing that border and how hard he's came down on all these people. Let's take it a step further. When you speak about closing the borders, on one hand, they say how inhumane Donald Trump is. And then the next minute, they make it look like he wants him to come and he's got the borders open. And he ain't even been president. They want this to continue over and over and over again. I seen Kamala Harris. She was on Telemundo, which is an actual Mexican platform. And they was speaking about the borders to her on there. And the damn Mexican guy was calling her out. And she started word salading and started pointing the finger. You're seeing it all throughout America. New York City is catching hell when it comes to these people. Chicago catching hell. Things like what's going on out there with you, Beatzilla, these are very quiet things. They don't talk about it. When you start speaking about Africans coming here, them folks is coming in being flown. We have to dismiss the old view of a migrant as people coming from South America and they're poor and they're fleeing persecution. These people coming here with three-piece suits on, y'all, wearing Nikes. They got fitted hats. They got on. There ain't nothing wrong with these people. Don't let them try to give you this poor example of these folks. These folks are coming in here well-to-do and being well taken care of. Let's make that clear. It's an apparatus at play, and it goes all the way to the top. And the Democratic establishment are the main ones pushing it, and Black Americans are the number one victims of it. Remember, in the majority of sanctuary cities, in the majority of places where these folks get dropped off in, these are in our communities. All right. Places that occupy 70% of the black population is the majority places where migrants are being dropped off. You think that happened by accident? You think that happened by coincidence, or was that by design? Absolutely design. And if you vote for Kamala Harris, you're going to get the same exact thing. And like I said earlier, only more. The plan isn't to do the same migrant invasion that Joe Biden did. The plan is to increase it. They want to take it a step further. So you're really dealing with 8 years, potentially, of democratic policies of open borders, with the example of perhaps 12 years. And we spoke about that before. So this is why a lot of brothers and sisters are looking at Donald Trump and saying, hey, he might get my vote. A very intelligent brother told me one time, for everybody out there saying these politicians ain't going to give us nothing. Well, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. My brother tells me, he says, if 2 politicians ain't going to give me something, then I'll take my not going to give me something with the borders closed. All right. So if person A ain't going to give me a damn thing and person B ain't going to give me a damn thing, I'll take the person who ain't going to give me a damn thing with a side order of them damn borders closed. And that's the logic that a lot of brothers and sisters are looking at. And this is what we have the right to do. And let me say this before we go back to the hands. I want to also talk about how if we weren't out here having these discussions, you wouldn't hear a damn thing about the migrant crisis, which is affecting us. All right. Remember, there's only so many resources to go around. Don't let nobody tell you that they're bringing in 22 million illegals and it does not harm the black community the most. Whoever's at the bottom of the economic totem pole is the person who suffers the most from a migrant crisis. This is simple mathematics. This is common sense. And then some studies have came out about Kamala Harris's father. And you've seen that he actually wrote a dissertation years ago, and he was talking about how immigration hurts black people. Have y'all seen that? Y'all seen it? I read it 3 weeks ago, and now a lot of people are sharing it on the internet. I've been read it. Kamala Harris's father actually wrote something about immigration harming us. Everybody knows it. Him and a million other people. Sociology report after sociology report tells the world that black Americans are the ones the most impacted by illegal immigration, and the only people telling you otherwise are the goddamn Democrats. And Kamala Harris is on front of that. Don't let these people lie to you, y'all. These people are doing that on purpose. And if you are purposely bringing in people to our communities that are taking resources from us, and you're getting mad at every black person who calls it out, then you are trying to get foundational black Americans erased. And that right there is the policy of the Democrats. I don't give a damn about any other thing they tell you to do. I'm talking about the action. Damn they words. Their actions show you that they are absolutely positively content with this structure of dropping off all of these people in our neighborhoods until we're gone. And that is what they're showing us. And that's why Kamala Harris can't answer the goddamn question, because she knows if she has to really answer it and really speak the truth, black Americans are going to see for what it really is. And that is there's a migrant crisis that has a big damn bullseye on us. We've been covering that, the Black Alpha Network, for the longest time. Y'all seen the videos that I put up, the where you're from, where you're going? If y'all ain't familiar with that, y'all make sure y'all tap into the Black Alpha Network, okay? Go look at it. And these people are coming here from every single country in the world. Do you guys know that China has the second most migrants that have been coming here to America for the last 2 years? Yep. Africans? Yep. Everybody from South America? Yep. These people are coming to the United States of America with anti-black hatred. They don't like the dark people in their own communities. Does anybody talk about that? Or do they hop, skip, and jump over it? That's exactly what they do. So when we talk about reparations and immigration, those are the two policies that black Americans have made it clear that we want. Don't come telling me about no goddamn voter rights. They out here fighting for policies from the 60s. The Democrats want us in 2024 to fight for 1960s policies. And you know why, y'all? Because we've exposed that in the grassroots again, because the grassroots, I'm talking about all of y'all, all we do is win and expose them. The voter rights policy is for us to vote for illegals to have the right to vote. And they did what they always do. They put a whole big circle on it and said, black Americans, this is y'all problem. Let us go do the hard work. Let us go do the fighting. And then when we do all of that, they transition everything we did and they hand it over to Julio. That's the policy of Kamala Harris. And our policy is to vote against her no matter who. Harriet Tubman's pistol is on you, then a Little Hawk, and then I got my brother Afro Lee coming up too. I see you, brother. Go ahead, Harriet.
Peace, power, and lineage-based reparations. See, family, We not playing out here, family. This is the Double V campaign part 2. You get what I'm saying? But only this time, we not fighting for equality in the military or the war industrial complex. We fighting for lineage-based reparations. We fighting for delineation on the United States Census, and we're fighting for a Black American hate crime bill. And I say again, Obama. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of energy that we are on right now, family. That's the energy that we're on right now. They sit up here talking about vote blue no matter who. But you don't ever hear them say vote Republican no matter who. You don't hear them say vote independent no matter who. You don't hear them say vote Green Party no matter who. See, they do that because they want to psychologically poison you to stay on the Democratic plantation. But we've broken the chains, like I said previously, and we're off that. Going to is that, again, like, our political astuteness is forever evolving. See, they're not going to take our talking points because our talking points don't reflect what they want for us. They reflect what we want for ourselves, family. We're not the civil rights generation, and no disrespect to our ancestors, but we're charting our own path forward. Again, they're afraid of our political astuteness. That's why they want to take our First Amendment rights away and shut this down, because family, they didn't know that we were going to be on this type of time. They thought that we're going to be here playing and that we just wasn't going to be where we are right now. But no, we're not. We're not playing. We're having an effect on this election, and we're going to keep having effects on elections going forward. United States of America, we've been waiting long enough. This is the new Double V campaign. We're fighting for victory at home and abroad. And what's the use of fighting for victory abroad if we're not, what's the use of fighting for democracy abroad if we're not going to get democracy at home? See, democracy at home right now for foundational Black Americans is, again, reparations, delineation, and an anti-Black hate crime bill. It is for the American freedmen, ADOS, foundational Black Americans, or Black Americans, whatever floats your boat, for us to be in the proper political position that we deserve in our country, the proper economic position that we deserve in our country. Y'all can't stop the rain, and y'all not stopping the American freedmen. It's freedmen forward, United States of America. Nobody will be placed over us. We are the true patriots of the United States of America. Yes, that's American freedmen.
Appreciate you, family. Appreciate you. I got my brother Afro Elite in here, my fellow Vanguard brother, man. Afro, you there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, family. You know the floor is yours, brother.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to say one of the things I absolutely love, I love to death, is the fact that when we say what we want to say on YouTube, it puts a date on it, and we're so good at predicting where things are going to go, how people are going to respond. I say that to say this. I remember saying when Kamala had Megan Thee Stallion at her rally, she had Megan Thee Stallion, she had Quavo at her rally, and Megan Thee Stallion was out there twerking, and you saw the facial expressions of everybody. You saw what they were saying. And I said specifically, I said, this is going to hurt her campaign. Because right out the gate, that was one of the first things that she did when she first, started running after Biden endorsed her. It's one of the very first things that she did. I said, this is going to hurt her campaign because it's going to make sure, or it's going to make people see her as non-serious. She's still really facing the ripple effects of that. It took a minute. It took a minute since then. But ever since then, it's been a lot of people who probably, I'm going to be honest with you, probably would have went along. But if she not did that stunt in the very beginning, that's one of the things that kind of made people be all like, well, hold on, let me look into this a little bit more. That stunt right there stuck in people's mind. I don't think a lot of people really acknowledge that. That stuff stuck in people's mind. And then what she did with Megan Thee Stallion, that is one of the things that made it lessened the seriousness. It lessened the validity of every single celebrity endorsement after her. Because a lot of people's like, well, Megan Thee Stallion, she's college educated. She knows about the issues. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Megan Thee Stallion is so smart and whatever. So a lot of people said that about her. But then when they came up there and they saw how she conducted herself, they was all like, well, yeah, I guess we can't really take these celebrity endorsements that serious. So when she did that, she completely sabotaged. She completely sabotaged all of the stuff all of the potential celebrity endorsements since then. And ever since then, you've seen celebrity endorsement after endorsement after endorsement, and it has not moved the needle. It hasn't moved the needle. That's one of the things I like about YouTube. I like that. I remember saying, and we've been saying this for the last couple years too, we've been saying the fact that these people will openly cheat. These people will openly cheat and then tell you in your face that you're the fascist. These people will completely break the law and then fit the definition of fascism and tell you that you're the fascist. I remember the last 4 years, not 4 years, I remember Trump's entire presidency. The Democratic Party has tried to go after Trump, tried to impeach Trump, tried to say that it was really Russia and Russia bought the election and there was Russian foreign interference and that Trump's win didn't really count and Trump's not the real president. I remember. Now, this is the same thing that they were saying that Trump is doing. This is the same thing that Charlemagne is saying is the definition of fascism, trying to use your political power to overthrow the election. When Hillary Clinton lost, that's the whole thing the Democrats were doing, trying to make it seem like this Russian invasion is going to cost is the reason why Trump won. Then they the Democratic Party formed a coup on Joe Biden so they can get Kamala in or they can get another person in. And then when Joe Biden selected Kamala Harris, they completely skipped the primary. These things fit the entire definition of fascism. This is the definition of fascism. When you talk about, well, fascism, Trump jokingly or out of context said he was going to be a dictator on day one. And then you compare that to the entire Biden administration. You compare that to the fact that there were Democratic mayors, Brandon Johnson, even Lori Lightfoot, Eric Adams, who've been going to their Democratic leader, Joe Biden, has been saying, hey, man, we're trying to get on your page with the immigrants, but, we do need some help. He says, you know what? That's your problem. They're going to keep coming regardless. And you can't send them back. You can't take them out. You can't send them anywhere. They're going to keep coming regardless of what you want. They're going to keep coming regardless of what the people want. They're going to come because that's what I want. That's at the end of the day, that's my agenda. And you're just going to have to abide by what I tell you to do. That's fascism. These things fit the definition of fascism. When they tell you that, yeah, we have this jab for you. Now, although, is that not dictatorship? Does the Democratic Party not fit the definition word for word of a dictatorship? Does the Democratic Party not fit the exact definition of fascism? This is the opposite of democracy. And I'm not here to say that Trump is the best guy or the nicest guy or anything, or that even he has my vote or endorsement. But I am going to say, if we're going to use definitions, or if they're going to use buzzwords like fascism, because they feel like fascism is a word that a lot of people are afraid of, or fascism is a word that a lot of people are going to look and be like, oh man, I don't want fascism and a dictatorship. Oh no. But they're not going to put it into the context of, well, the Democratic Party, they say they're against fascism, but they fit more of the definition of fascism than Trump or the entire Republican Party, to be very honest. We have to understand the definitions. We have to understand the definitions of these things. So when Charlemagne gets up here and talks about we want to stop fascism, we do. We want to stop fascism, and he's the one supporting a fascist. He's the one supporting the fascist party. As far as the celebrity endorsements, Megan Thee Stallion already showed us why that celebrity endorsement doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to end with this. Eminem made a joke about Megan Thee Stallion getting shot in the foot. Now, when Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion were going to court and doing all that stuff, they were talking about how black men joke about violence against black women. Black men joke about these things, and black men don't protect black women and make light of the pain of black women. Now, Eminem made a joke about Megan Thee Stallion getting shot in the foot. Megan Thee Stallion and Kamala Harris been cool for the longest time. You think that with somebody making fun of the fact that someone else who's endorsed you got shot, you think that they wouldn't want to be associated with this man. If this was about protecting women and, you know, bodily autonomy and women's right and women being able to lead and being anti-misogynist, you think, I'm not even talking about all of the years of misogyny from Eminem, you think that if you got a campaign that's been fully supported by Megan Thee Stallion, that you wouldn't just completely disregard the fact that Eminem shot her, or Eminem made fun of her getting shot in the foot, right? What happened to protect? Where's the Democratic Party when it comes to protect black women? Where's the Democratic Party when it comes to making sure black women's mental health? What do you think that does to Megan Thee Stallion's mental health? Don't you think that's selfish? I'm telling you, the Democratic Party is full of hypocrisy. And this needs to be noted. Also, hold on. I'm going to say this one last thing, too. In Illinois, it is completely illegal. It is 100% illegal to watch over somebody while they're casting a ballot. All right. This goes for all types of elections, not just not just federal elections, but all types of elections. It goes for all types of elections. You cannot do that. You can't be over somebody's shoulder. Even if you're a poll watcher, you can't be over somebody's shoulder as they're writing in their ballot. That is against federal law. And the fact that somebody is a parent, because there was a picture that went viral of a black woman doing that to her child. The fact that somebody is a parent and they're doing that, that can be easily interpreted as voter intimidation. Anybody who has an authoritative position, anybody who has a position that the person that they're watching them write their ballot in, they rely on that person, or they even know that person, like a parent or anything like that, or that can be considered voter intimidation. And the poll watchers just allowed that. And then the woman didn't have the sense not to post it. She posted that on the internet. And when I said, hey, that's illegal, you had a whole bunch of Harris supporters being all like, well, so what? You're just mad that it's not Trump. So what? These people don't care about fascism. These people are literally saying that if comes down to breaking the law, that they do that. These people are saying if it comes down to election fraud, they do that. These people are literally saying if it comes, they do that. Now, these are the same people who like to only use January 6th when it comes to their own political gain. But these people are literally cheating at the ballot, posting that on Twitter and telling you guys, we did it and we're not sorry about it. So let's take that into the context when we talk about ending fascism and stopping a democratic dictatorship. I'm sorry. And I land there.
Family, you know it wouldn't be a show, fam, if I didn't get you to talk about the immigration crisis in Chicago, fam. I cannot let you go without talking about that, because that's one of the hubs of immigration in America. And Brandon Johnson, all the way up to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, has been one of the main catalysts for it, family. What's the real situation going on? Like you said, as we freeze frame this, and when people go back and they look, what's the real issue going on in terms of what's happening with immigration opposed to what they're telling us?
Well, number one, we have to understand that these people are not asylum seekers. And I've been saying that since day one. They're not asylum seekers. A lot of them are not here legally. When they first came in, they really didn't know that was under the Lori Lightfoot administration. They really didn't know where to put them. They really didn't know what to do with them. That's what happened when they first came into office, when they first got here. A lot of people are saying that they needed to be sent back. They've consistently lied about the numbers. They've consistently tried to lower the numbers of people that's come to this city because they only want to talk about the buses. They don't want to talk about the fact that a lot of them have been shipped here from Texas over with planes, and a lot of them have come on buses, but they would come to the south suburbs or suburbs around Chicago and then take the train in Chicago. The buses wouldn't enter Chicago, but they would get right next to Chicago, and then the immigrants or the aliens, to be honest, would take the train in the city of Chicago. So it's a lot more than what the news is trying to tell people. What's happening right now is that they're trying to rush to legalize them. They're trying to rush to nationalize them because a lot of them feel if Trump wins and he states an affirmative action to, at the very least, freeze the sanctuary city status, which is the status that prevents ICE from coming in here and working with the police, coming in here and deporting all of them. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to rush to get them citizenship. I talked to the assistant mayor, the assistant of Brandon Johnson. We had a one-on-one conversation a couple weeks ago, and he told me this. He confessed this to me. He told me the fact that a lot of them are here working. They were able to get a few hundred work visas for them already. So when they got work visas, a lot of them have temporary legal status in this country. So they've been really working overtime to do that. Now, one of the issues with the people in Chicago is the fact that they're rushing the gentrification process to people in Chicago so they can make room for them to get in here. These people are going to become their cheap labor. Like in Chicago's always had this. There was a bakery where they had a bunch of illegal workers working in that bakery over the citizens, and they were able to pay them kind of cheaper and under the table. And that bakery was able to make more money because everybody knows who knows about business. They know the most expensive part of business is the labor. So they're able to cut costs with the labor market. So this is one of the reasons why they want them to work over here. The state of Illinois is the biggest transportation state. So when they expedite a lot of them over here and they give them pathways to citizenship and work visas and all of these things, then next thing you know, these people are going to be working for the FedExes, the UPS, the Amazons, and all of these things for much cheaper than they could get away with when it comes to hiring the citizens. They're going to get away with so much cheaper labor than what they could if they were hiring the citizens. So these are the reasons. So the city of Chicago is really out here calling this out. Now, a lot of people are trying to make it seem, they're trying to cherry pick and make it seem like everybody who has any issue with immigration is just a Trump supporter. And that's not the case whatsoever. They're trying to make it seem like these are innocent people who are coming over here to seek asylum. But when you ask them about why they're coming over here to seek asylum, what was going on in their homeland, they can't tell you. I went to the shelters and I asked them specifically, these people are not coming over here to seek asylum. These people are not coming over here because they feared for their life. These people are not coming over here because of that. These people are coming over here because they want economic opportunity. I asked them directly, and this is directly what they told me. They're coming over here for economic opportunity. And the government is trying to lie to people to make it seem like this is an asylum seeker case and that we're being xenophobic and we're being heartless by denying them asylum. This is not the case whatsoever. So you do have a lot of people in Chicago talking about that they're going to flip the city red if this is what it takes in order for them to get these immigrants out of here. Because pretty much the city of Chicago understands that if the immigrants come here, if Kamala becomes the president and the immigrants are allowed to stay here, that they'll be gentrified out of the city of Chicago. and that this city is going to literally be a city of illegal immigrants, which they will never fully work to become legal citizens. I want you guys to understand the plot. They never fully try to make them citizens. They never do that. They love to have them in this gray area between legal citizens and non-legal citizens, because that allows them to deny them of citizen rights. That allows them to constantly keep them under the threat of deportation, which they can't put us under. They can't put us under the threat of deportation. They can't strip us from our rights as citizens. So they love to keep, even in the Democratic Party, they love to keep these aliens in between that gray area. And the Black Chicago, really Chicago in general, but especially the Black Chicago, is understanding that, and they're pushing against it, saying that the actual state has been Democrat for too long. And Brandon Johnson has once again a dictatorship in the city of Chicago. So there's a lot of people talking about, not just federally, but locally, that there needs to be some Republican pushback in the city of Chicago in order for things to get done. So that's kind of what the mind frame is of a lot of people in Chicago.
Damn. I want everybody out there, listen to what my brother just said. Watch Chicago, y'all watch New York, and this is what's going on across the country. And they try to slide that in right there. Shout out to my brother Afro Elite for doing real groundwork in Chicago. My brother Sage, he ain't here right now. I know he's under the weather. Certified salute to you, brother. He does real groundwork in the grassroots in New York. And this shows everybody the type of game that they're running on us, y'all. And this is why we got to be on code, because once again, they're not going to talk about this on national television. Look at your social media timeline and see what you see when it comes to migrants, and then think about what you see on national television. It's a whole different world, y'all. It ain't even nowhere near close. The news kind of tries to tell us that it's a small little migrant crisis. You got a couple people who come here, there from Mexico, and they just walk across the border, and then they're nice and they get jobs. They don't tell you anything what my brother Afro just said. And mind you, he's out there talking to the mayor. We're not talking about some principal of a school here. All right. We're talking to real politicians. Down here in Georgia, I had an opportunity to meet with a senator. Okay, a guy named Buddy Carter. I got a chance to meet up with him. I know the way they talk about it, who, by the way, is a Republican, and they talk about pack your bags. Y'all got to go home. You feel me? So you see the difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. We do real work. Real work. There's some people out there that they do whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? But we out here really trying to bring the message out. And it's so evidently clear that these people are trying to erase us simply by bringing in migrants. You cannot separate the two of them. And as I always say, reparations and immigration, they go side by side because they want to give the immigrants your reparations money. What you think all that money coming from, y'all? All of that money that these people are getting, who they taking that money from? They taking that straight out of the reparations bag. This is why you see these people getting all of that. See, reparations is given out in America just by different names. What you call amnesty for all of these people and all the money that comes along with it. Just amnesty alone for all these people. That right there is a couple $2 billion. Mm-hmm. All the high rises and the EBT cars that we seeing got, $1,300 on it. Family, all of that right there, that's simply reparations. They just giving it to illegals and they just giving it a different name. The money's there. We know this. And the Democrats come up with every single different word. I want you to think about whatever word they give you and scratch that off. And behind that word, the truth lies. And the truth is something that's typically against us as people. So when you talk to people out there who are really watching things, go look at your internet, y'all. You see people. I've seen it. I've seen people jump over the border. I've seen people crawl under the border. I've seen the actual officials cut the barbed wire and let them walk on through. I never seen this on CNN. I see this right here on social media. These are real people. All right. I've seen folks fly in. I've seen people get dropped off in buses. I've seen folks come on boats. All right. Trains, planes, and automobiles. Every single way that these people can come in, we've seen it. It's all right there on the internet. You can check it out. It's on everybody's timelines. We all share it. That's why I say if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, the immigration crisis would be even less known. We're the ones always recording it. Y'all seen the damn receipts from these cashiers? And you seeing all of the money that's on these EBT cards? Really though? That's all showing you exactly the way these people are moving. Kamala don't talk about it because that's her agenda. And then Joe Biden don't talk about it because that's his agenda. And this is why we say Project 2055 is the Democratic agenda. Damn that Project 2025. That's fantasy land. Project 2055, that's the Democratic agenda. And I want you guys to look at the forecast and the projections of the population of the United States of America. And I want you to see how black starts going down, 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 and every other group goes up, up, up. And the black people who are coming here are mostly Africans. And they say by 2060, the second highest majority of immigrants who come here are going to be Africans. And we deal with these people every day. They're not coming over here trying to be brothers. They're coming over here trying to get your money and calling you a cotter. And they flying them in everywhere. And you know, the only person I've ever heard talk about that was Donald Trump. He had a rally and he said, hey, listen, y'all, it's not just people coming in from South America. No, there are people coming in from Africa. I told you earlier, people coming in from China, people coming in from Iran, people coming in from India, Kamala Harris's people. EJ, my brother EJ, y'all know you in here, family. Y'all know on the Black Alpha Network, I showed you a terrorist that was coming in, the guy who's literally on the terror list. And he said, y'all don't know who I am now. You'll soon know who I am. All my subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. Y'all subscribe to my brother Afro Lee and my brother Beatzilla. Make sure y'all do that. I showed it straight up. You don't see this anywhere. This man literally is on a watch list and walked right on in to America, slid right on past, and nobody said nothing. So what are you talking about when you see these immigrants and these migrants? And that's exactly what Donald Trump says. He said, listen, we don't know who these people are. We don't know who they are. And the Democrats come out and say, oh, he's being so mean. And then you come to find out Venezuela literally said, no, yeah, for real. We did actually open up our insane asylums. Yeah, we sent them to America. They telling you. That's what I'm saying, y'all. It's not even a secret at this point. It ain't no damn secret. This ain't no migrant secret, no shadows. It's right in front of all of us. The Democrats Project 2055, y'all, is real. And it's all about migration coming here. We broke down how this goes to the top levels of the UN. We talked about the IOM. We talked about the Miles for Migrants. We talk about how all of these conglomerate organizations in America, they actually finance the migrant crisis. Oh, it's way deeper than just Julio Estrada Hernandez, who came here last night. Hell no, y'all. It's way deep. And everybody who's real and everybody who trusts their eyes, you see it. I always say, if you trust your eyes, you'll never vote Democrat. If you believe in fantasy, then you will. And that's why we sit here and we laugh at these Democratic shields. They can call us whatever they want, but we know they living in the fantasy land and they fake as hell. They faker than Lee Press on nails, him, that they ain't about nothing. And they know they're not. So this is why we're seeing this shift in everything and we're watching it occur, because that is the plan. And trust me, Kamala wants to win to do that. I promise you, Kamala win, first day, executive order, executive order, executive order. You know, the same thing that Joe Biden did? When his first executive order was to go ahead and cancel all of the restrictions that Donald Trump put in about the border, Kamala gonna do the same thing. Only this time, family, they know they up against the gun. They gotta go. They gotta go quick, fast, in a hurry. And what they bring to places like Chicago and what they bring to places like Cleveland, Ohio, and what they bring out there in California, they're trying to duplicate that all throughout the country. Stacey Abrams tried to come on down here and do that in the South. Okay. Raphael Warnock tries to do that down here. Down south, we ain't really going for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not really the game. But at the end of the day, this is what they want. This is what they're trying to push off on us. So we got to continuously see that. And we got to continuously combat that because it harms us the most. And you see a look in their eyes, fam, when they start talking about immigration, you know they lying. You know they lying. They know what it is, y'all. They know what it is. Even Obama's administration actually did a research and yielded results that said immigration, again, hurts Black Americans. Family, I've seen liberals, I've seen conservatives, I've seen independents, and I've seen foreign people. And they've all did reports on illegal immigration, and it all comes back that it harms Black Americans the most. The only people telling you it doesn't are the Democrats and the Democratic shields. Latinos want to close the border. Newsflash. The only people who don't admit there's a legal immigrant crisis, the only people who don't admit there's a migrant invasion, and the only people who don't admit that it harms Black Americans the most are the Black Democratic shields and the Democratic plantation. So I think you got your ops right there, y'all. I think we've identified who is for us and who's against us. And I think with that said, we've identified who votes for them has classified themselves as an op. And I don't give a damn if it's Grandma Cheryl that goes to the church every day. OK, well, Grandma Cheryl, she going to have to sit her ass down. All right, because I'm not worried about Grandma Cheryl, who's going to vote for the Democratic Party for the next 60 years. I'm worried about these kids that got to come up. And these kids got to deal with Project 2055, where everybody's going to come here with anti-Black racism. And we're not going to say, well, yeah, you know, that's just Grandma. We got to stop with these passes. All right, these Democratic shield passes. All right, some of these aunties and uncles that want to cuss you out because you don't want to vote, all that Percy Earl stuff, we got to get rid of that, y'all, because we got to quit thinking about the past. Okay, the past is the reason why we're here now. All that off-coded behavior. We need to start talking about the future. All right, and how do you fix the future is the present. This is how we fix it. We got to quit thinking about grandma who been on the Democratic plantation forever. All right, we need to start talking about how these babies out here, how these little boys and girls, how we can get them off the Democratic plantation. They ain't got to grow up in a world where Mr. Mutombo comes over here and talks about, I'm going to get rid of Martin Luther King Day. Y'all know what it is. They come over here and they cloak themselves in our lineage, y'all. Y'all know what it is. And they're all coming from all of these different countries with the same agenda. So that's why, y'all, it is very, very paramount that we call it out and we expose it, because the Democrats will never do that. Let's go to the hand. My brother Beatzilla.
Yeah, just one last little tidbit, man. In talking about how these people are getting down, especially with the Democrats, another thing that they are focusing in on are our voices. So pay attention to what they're going to be sending our way. They're already flirting these ideas out here of their censorship. So that's even more of a reason to steer clear of this Democratic agenda, because the one thing they don't like is when black folks start getting together and we start saying our truth and are pushing our message. And that, because notice what has happened in this particular political cycle. The one big thing that has changed is our voice is unimpeded. So all the people that they used to put in place to say they represent black people and this is what the black community wants, and it's now evident those people hold no weight, and it's literally voices like y'all and myself that is the voice they're listening to. So there's tons of these agents out here that sit up in these spaces listening to and getting the tone of Black America, and y'all are setting the tone. So with that being said, be mindful of these Democrats and listen to Hillary Clinton very clearly, because Hillary Clinton might be one of those mouthpieces that you guys really don't pay attention to, but a lot of the real agenda that's going forth with them Democrats usually particularly comes out of her mouth. So go listen to Hillary Clinton so you can hear what they're really trying to do. And if also one other thing, notice that the whole talk of messing with your guns has went away, at least for now. So the same people talking about censorship are the exact same people talking about taking your guns. That's the first two amendments of the Constitution. But they'll tell you Donald Trump wants to dismantle the Constitution. Their agenda literally is dismantling the Constitution. And they've already shown you their agenda, because they've altered the Constitution to even change the definition of marriage. That was the first sign to let you know that they were trying to play with things. So this is at the end of the day, it still goes to serving the system of supremacy. So it effectively helps both parties. So you always have to know what attacks come from which side. So it effectively helps both sides of supremacy by silencing our voices. So always be mindful of that, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I wanted to lay on you for this, for that little last word, because Hillary Clinton is consistently talking about censorship, even talking about prosecution. And who are they really targeting? The voices that can actually affect elections. And we have now proven that's us. So with that being said, family, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive, man. Black first, y'all. Have a great one. And salute to my brother, Black Alpha Network, man. Salute to you, my good brother.
Certified salute. Hey, all day, right back at you, player. One love, man. Much respect. I'm glad you said that, family. Absolutely. You threw me an alley-oop, fam. Real talk. Think about it. Hillary Clinton pops up, and every time you see Hillary Clinton, what is she talking about? Hillary Clinton is talking about censorship. Tim Walz came out and said censorship, and so did Kamala Harris. All right. And now when Donald Trump comes out and he says that these people really want to censor things, they pull there go Donald Trump again. We got to get over this. There go Trump, y'all. He talking that fascist talk. That has become an excuse for them to not actually do anything and for them to pass it on. They all say that. And the reason is, family, they're talking to us. They're not talking about the dominant society. All right. They're not talking about the dominant society. They're talking about the new black media. They're talking about the black grassroots, everything that we have articulated in this space. They're talking about how we expose a migrant crisis. We've exposed that Kamala Harris has about 17 different grandmas and ain't none of them black. All right. The fact that she's running around here right now and they're putting out a fake McDonald's picture and we're the ones exposing it. Who has been the ones on her bumper the most calling her out? It's been all of us. I'm talking about all of y'all. All right. This is why she wants to do that. And it's funny because they tell us that the Republicans are these fascists and they want to be dictators. But every time you turn around, it's them doing the dictate. It's them calling us names, insulting us because we don't want to go along. That sounds like some dictatorship. It's them who say they want to lock people up and persecute people based on these things. That comes from the Democratic Party. All right. This is what they've been doing. They don't want us here. Y'all know damn well everywhere we go, but we're talking real game, they got problems. If we was having a space and we was in here talking about Megan Thee Stallion twerking and we was in here talking about Lotto and Glorilla or whoever the hell, they let that go on. As soon as we start talking real game and we start educating the people and we start uplifting the community and putting a good passageway for us to move forward in this world politically, then all of a sudden you start hearing problems like earlier today. You start hearing all types of frequency issues and things. They are watching the black grassroots very, very thoroughly, y'all, because we are very, very thorough. They didn't do this with the African American. Notice, family, the resistance came when we got heavy on code. Soon as we started to do two things, delineation, separation, and we got on reparations. Soon as that really kicked off, that's when you started seeing all this resistance. And out of nowhere, the Democrats start looking real far right, didn't they? They look real far right. Let me ask y'all this question. Who's been seeming more like a dictator to you, the left or the right? Now, I'm not saying that the right is our friends, but I'm also telling you that the right don't get our vote all the damn time. Who has been coming down and having these anti-black American policies, who's been dictating to us, who's been insulting us and trying to divide us the most? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? When was the last time you heard Donald Trump say anything about y'all's black men's or y'all's black women's? Y'all heard that? Was it Donald Trump or was it the Kamala Harris K-Hive that were out here going in on Janet Jackson and calling her all kind of names? By the way, right after her brother had passed, right? Who was that? Was that Donald Trump or was that Kamala Harris? Was that the K-Hive? Who's out here calling you Simple Simon and misinformation and basically you just too damn stupid to understand things? Who was that? Was that the Republicans? Was that MAGA? Or was that the Democrats? Me personally, I went to a MAGA rally and I went to a Kamala Harris rally. I told y'all I seen Kamala Harris 3 times, and I'm here to tell y'all every single time I went to go see Kamala Harris, they were playing. They were playing. They was giving people food. And it was basically, if you come up in here with some grassroots talking points, you better leave. And then they send out all the shills talking all this madness. Yep. Now, when I went to the MAGA rally, they was sitting there and they was talking about policies, this, that, and the other thing, but they weren't having a cookout. They weren't having no type of cookout at all. And matter of fact, somebody told me personally, me and my brother Marcel, I had a MAGA guy tell us personally. He said, hey, a lot of white folks is leaving the Democrats too. They leaving the Democrats too. All that stuff where you going to go to a MAGA rally and get beat up, they ain't happened to me. It ain't happened to me. And by the way, me and Marcel were the only 2 black people there. And Marcel had to leave early and I was the only one there. And this is when I met Senator Buddy Carter, as well as a couple other local politicians. There wasn't no smoke. Now, I'm not saying that these people are our friends because we know that ain't the case. But what I am telling you is this notion that these people are out to get us, why the Democrats love us so damn much, we have completely debunked that. That is done. That's canceled. We're not running with that game no more. We're not going to play this. Y'all stays away from that plantation and y'all right at home on this plantation, because all that has gotten you is voting for these people who have anti-black policies. That ain't working no more. When we was in Carolina and they was pulling out them on us, that was the Democrats doing that. That was the NAACP doing that. There's some brothers and sisters in this space right here, right now, that had to deal with that. It wasn't MAGA. So I want you to think about who has been more insulting, who has attacked you more, who has been more nuclear to the black American family than the Democratic establishment. Nobody. They're the ones always separating black man and black woman. They always talk about the black woman vote versus the black man vote. When was the last time they ever talked about, when it comes to black Americans, that's the only time they say men over there, women over there. How disrespectful is that, y'all? How disrespectful is that? Who are the ones who talk about us specifically? They talk about black men ain't voting for Kamala. You seen the poll results for men in Kamala? They don't talk about that, though. Matter of fact, do you see the poll results for women in Kamala. You notice that don't ever come up, right? They'd rather talk about black men in Kamala Harris than talk about women in Kamala Harris. I thought they was all women. I thought it was the feminist movement. How come you not calling out all these other women to task? Because I'm here to tell you, come election day, when you see them damn poll results the day after, I promise you, the woman vote is not going to Karen. Hillary Clinton could not go get the woman vote. If you think Karen is voting against her husband and her son in the system of supremacy, then you are crazy. But ain't nobody going to call that out. They're going to call out us. So when you talk about the consistent attacks against the lineage, the heritage, and the culture, whether that is them talking about the gender divide, which they create, because brothers and sisters don't really be on that, or you're talking about illegal immigration coming into our communities. The Democrats see what they do that harms us, then they turn a blind eye to it, and they point the finger at Trump. The boogeyman tactics are not working anymore. Come up with a new thought process, because the old things they told us was that these people got our backs no matter what, no matter who. We all know that's cap. All right. What you need to know is clean slate. Don't sit there and think, well, yeah, they told me this in 1980. They told me this in 2012. Obama said this. Scratch all that. Delete that from your hard drive. Come up with a new plan and a new day. And once you come up with that, then you're going to move forward. Anything other than that, family, is going to have you falling back. And if you ain't going ahead, you ain't going nowhere. That's the way the reality is in this country. So we're going to focus on coming up with a new slate for the young folks. So we're going to teach them, yeah, you do know you can demand something from politics. We didn't get taught that. Well, then we're going to tell them, oh, by the way, don't have no love affair with a politician. We're going to teach them that because the past told us otherwise. And then we're going to tell them all of these people coming into the United States of America, they're not your friend. And it's not a black issue. The only black issue is foundational black American issues. Anything other than that, y'all, we push to the side.
Peace, power, and lineage-based reparations. Yes, family, before I get into my build, I definitely want to elaborate on this point. And yes, I'm a Navy veteran, and I approve this message, family. We are educating our people, which is why we're holding this space right now. We're gearing up to run for office. If you haven't already, please donate to Marcel for Congress's campaigns. We gonna have 100+ Marcel for Congresses. Clearly, we're not playing out here. And I want you all to do something. Go look in the mirror, family. Go look in the mirror. Y'all see that person? Yes. We are going to be the change that we want to see. We're going to platform our own candidates and be the change that we want to see. And I say again, family, we are not trying to harm politicians physically or do nothing unscrupulous. We are doing everything the right way. There's people who coming up here being agents trying to derail what we're doing. No, this is ironclad. We are doing everything the right way, and nothing is going to get in our way. All right. We are doing politics. Politics is war without it, and that's what we're doing. Politics. And again, I'm gonna go into my build after this. They weren't expecting us to be this politically astute. Now I'm gonna go into my build after speaking on that harm and that agent coming up here, provocateur coming up here, doing all that, trying to derail what we're talking about. We've been on the positive build until then. You get what I'm saying? So we're gonna keep up this positive political momentum, family. The breaking of the Democratic Party is going to put our political momentum in another stratosphere. We're going to take our brothers and sisters off this political democratic plantation and make them politically independent and make sure that they think for themselves. If y'all want to stay with the Democrats and get 60 more plus years of nothing, you go ahead and you do that and see how history remembers you. But I want to make sure, and I want to enlighten my brothers and sisters to make sure that that doesn't happen. Because why we don't want that to happen, we want to make sure that we make America a better place for foundational black Americans, for American freedmen, for ADOS, black Americans, whatever floats your boat. See, family, what we have to do in this moment is we have to make our ancestors proud, our American freedmen ancestors proud. They paved the way and went through slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, convict leasing, redlining, and the likes thereof, and the denial of the GI Bill during World War II. They went through all of these things just so we can have the chance in this moment to solidify our lineage and give us a chance to usher us into, again, our civil rights movement for our generation. And I'm going to land right here. United States of America, we are advocating these are our lists. This is our agenda. You feel me? This is our agenda 40. This is our agenda 1865. We want our reparations. We're demanding them, and we're going to run candidates to get them. We're demanding delineation, OMB, Office of Management and Budget. We're not playing anymore. We want to be delineated as our own ethnic group on the United States Census. We don't want to be known as African American anymore. That's a misnomer. We are Black Americans. We are American freedmen. We are ADOS. They know exactly who we are, and we know who we are. Reverend Jesse Jackson ushered in the term African American in the 80s to conflate us with other immigrant groups. We are not immigrants. We are fully blooded Americans. We had an ethnogenesis. We are a unique ethnic group on American soil with our own culture, our own rich history on American soil. I'm going to land right here, family. United States of America, it's a new day. It is a new day. You dig what I'm saying? And I just wanted to say this for all my soldiers in the fleet right now. I'm a United States sailor. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I will obey the orders of those appointed over me. I represent the fighting spirit of the Navy and those who have gone before me to defend freedom and democracy around the world. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, courage, and commitment. I am committed to excellence and the fair treatment of all. The fair treatment of all. The fair treatment of all. And the American freedmen are not being treated fairly right now, United States of America, and we not having it. Peace, power, and lineage-based reparations.
Certified salute to you. Certified salute to you, veteran. All the way live, y'all. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Black Truth United, it's on you.
Salute, family. Brother Harriet Tubman's pistol, that was a powerful message. I appreciate that. I wanted to address something that came up in the room in regards to the misconceptions around illegal migrants coming over here seeking asylum. And not only has Kamala, or as I like to call her, Kamala Harris, stated this, but also Corny West, you have Jill Frankenstein, you have all these different people who are claiming that these people are just, they're from these war-torn countries and they're trying to escape these difficult situations and we need to feel bad for them. These people are not coming over here seeking asylum from war-torn countries or fleeing gang violence or anything like that. These people are economic migrants. They're coming to take, and specifically take, from our meager resources. And I actually had a conversation with one of these illegal migrants in her native tongue. And she actually, I kind of got her to talk and, break it down. I was pretty much asking her, just give me the real, just tell me what's really going on at the border. And what she told me was they have people who are with their groups as they cross the border, and they're actually coaching them on things to say as they cross the border to these border agents. And the most common one that they give them is, estamos huyendo de las pandillas. They tell them that they're running away from these gangs, fictional gangs. And the ironic thing is most of them got here by way of gangs escorting them. So, but in reality, she told me there was nothing going on. We were just told to sensationalize the whole thing, and we got our claim, and now we're here. And she had her paperwork and everything, and she won't be leaving anytime soon, unfortunately. But, don't think that these people, I'm not saying all of them, but I would say the vast majority of them are coming over here under fake asylum claims. And we have no we should have absolutely no sympathy or empathy for these kind of groups that come over and take from our society. We should have no problem putting our lineage, our FBA Freedmen flag down and saying, this is our specific lineage. We need the resources. We can't be worrying about all these other groups that come here and get put above us through not only policy, but economics, funding, grants, things that we can't access ourselves. So I just wanted to add that insights. Don't let people try to fake like these people are coming over here and they're all from, running away from these gangs or, they're trying to escape from a war-torn country. That's all cap. These people are coming over here to get jobs, to get businesses, and to replace us, not only financially, but politically. And with that, I'll land my Tuskegee Airman plane. Peace.
Good facts, brother. I appreciate that. Much respect. That was good game right there. Absolutely. You touched on something, family. Absolutely. I want to elaborate on. 100% true. We talked about how these people are all coming over here under the narrative and the guise of they're trying to seek asylum. And basically, they're just innocent people who come here and they're running from gangs. If these people are running from gangs so much, then how come they're gang members when they get here? And we see these Mexican gangs that are notorious in Mexico, and they're popping up in the Midwest of, the United States of America. We've seen what's going on in Colorado, where they're literally taking over apartment buildings. And by the way, whenever the landlords or the authorities are contacted about that, you're getting actual stories where they're getting told we can't do nothing about that. So all the landlords and all of the people who live in these buildings, they're getting told, hey, well, sorry, not my problem, my man. Y'all got to handle it on your own. So you're seeing the dragging of the feet. You're seeing the neglect. You're seeing as if the Democratic establishment wants this to happen. OK, now, y'all know damn well that some black gang members were taking over a street, a house, a damn neighborhood. It don't matter. If they was taking over a trailer, you're going to have every single alphabet agency outside. You're going to see it. Look at the whole Lil Durk situation right now. You're seeing it. They putting these charges on rappers. But yet you literally have people who are taking over apartment complexes. The authorities are being contacted and the authorities are telling everybody, hey, sorry, you're on your own. So you see that. And if you think about that, that is a direct relation to the sanctuary city. What is a sanctuary city? I say it all the time. A sanctuary city is harboring a fugitive. It's literally a safe zone for a criminal. Can we have a sanctuary city? Can we have a sanctuary town or a sanctuary county? Where's the sanctuary that any American can go seek refuge at? Where? Do we got bad credit and we can go somewhere and they say, when you come here, your credit's good? All right. Or when we're dealing with race soldiers who track us down over broken taillights, can we go somewhere and they say, oh, over here it's a no race soldier zone. You're safe. We don't have any of that. But you have sanctuary cities that literally are telling you these people can come here. So if you have sanctuary cities that protect migrant criminals, and then you have migrant criminals taking over complexes and the authorities are saying we can't help you, it looks like that the establishment is necessitating and facilitating these type of crimes being committed against us. That's the only way that you can examine that. That's the only analysis that you can come up with. These people are here and they're being given all these resources. They're giving all this help and they're given all these actual handouts in terms of protection, in terms of food, in terms of just getting put above Black Americans. So this shows you again, y'all, that is the Democrats' Project 2055. And the reason why I always say 2055 is because when you look at every single forecast, you see that the immigration crisis that we're dealing with today is going to come to a crescendo. It's going to come to a peak around 2055, probably even before then. OK, but it's going to be millions more. Hell, we had millions more in 3 years. What you think 2055 going to be? What you think 2035 going to be? We ain't even got to go that far into the future. But I'm saying that so you can understand that the future of these people and these democratic policies of having sanctuary cities, all right, or having apartment buildings taken over by these gang members, or like our brother just said, they're being coached to say these things. This is all a play at hand. This ain't no accident and this ain't no coincidence. These are things that they're all doing so they can inflict this upon Black Americans. And we're going to get the brunt of everything. Because first off, these people come to these cities and they come to the United States of America with anti-Black racism any damn way. They don't like us when they get here. So they come and they openly attack us, and then the government openly assists them. You had actual Democratic politicians coaching migrants on what to do if ICE comes. They're saying, well, if ICE comes, you need to duck and hide. You need to run. You need to call up your cousin Julio. He'll pull up out front with a van. You jump in the van. They'll take you to a safe house. What the hell? How can that be allowed in the United States of America unless that is orchestrated? That's why I say, family, this is orchestrated. This is an apparatus. This is by the immigrationist supremacists, because you got two types of supremacists. You got the supremacist that says we're just going to practice supremacy with just white people. And then you got the other one, the Joe Bidens, the Chuck Schumers, the whole damn Democratic Party, and they're immigrationist supremacists. And they say we'd rather have all these brown folks or all these anti-black American Africans or whoever come over here and they'll do the dirty work for supremacists. We'll use them as a shield. This is what you got to see. You got to learn how to train your eyes. This is what you're seeing in the future. See, the Democrats and the supremacist system, they always see into the future. Black folks only see into the stop sign. Not anymore. Foundational Black Americans and the Black grassroots, me, all of y'all, we see the future and what games they're going to try next. That's why in this space we've been breaking down game, because we're calling out what they do today, and we're going to call out what the hell they're going to do tomorrow, and we'll take this to 100 years, family. That's how we got to do. We got to have a 100-year plan. All right. And that's the type of game that we're running. My good master teacher, Dr. Kabahai Walter Kamene, he told me that. He said, I got a 100-year plan. And that's what I'm talking about. So we call them out for every step that they do. Then all these project 25, 55, 35, 105 ain't going to happen. And it ain't going to happen based on us being on code and based on us canceling the Democratic Party, canceling the Republican Party, or canceling anybody with an anti-black agenda. I don't care who you are, because when it comes to the lineage, anybody can get it. We got our sister Melissa in here. I'm going to go ahead and let you speak, beloved. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Black Alpha. So I lived in Arizona for about 12 years. Moved there when I was in high school, senior year, 18. And I was like 98. And then I moved from Arizona in 2010. And basically, it's kind of like a migration. My mom and I, since I was still in high school, moved out there. Then my aunt came out there. We already had another aunt that was out there because she started working for Border Patrol. She had to go through Border Patrol like twice through the whole program. And, you know, she wanted to do something in criminal justice. And I guess immigration kind of piqued her interests. She went through the whole process. She didn't get in with the good old boys about it. You know what I mean. But they were very racist towards her because she would see things and she would, be like, hey, this is not what you're supposed to do, especially when it came to drugs. And they actually let her go by giving her a really bad eval. And this was back in 2002. So long story short, we lived there for about 12. Well, I lived there for about 12 years. I joined the Navy, and then I got out, and then I joined the Army because I couldn't get a job. You had to know who you had to know to get a job because everybody was either Hispanic, and if you didn't speak Spanish, it was very hard for me to find my way. Once my mom's a teacher, she got into, we lived in Tucson, so she was working for TUSD, the school district. I was able to get in. And this is when Obama was his first term, and he was sending ICE to these people's that were immigrants' houses and deporting their parents and things like that. And the kids were just kind of, they're kind of SOL at that point. I don't understand why Biden and Harris couldn't implement that with everybody, because it was so easy for Obama to do that. And he was like doing this for a couple years, and then we had a Democratic governor. I think it was Napolitano, and that kind of just disappeared. So we were getting more illegal immigrants, and I would have them come into school. They would doctor up shot records. They would, they were getting food stamps on their own. They were getting all kinds of assistance. They were getting ID cards, driver's license. That's why they have this issue now that's going to their Supreme Court in Arizona, because they had 100,000 illegal immigrants voting. So it's, I've been on assistance. I filed for food stamps at one point because I really needed it. And I knew all these illegal immigrant kids that were like 18, they had to be in school. So they 17, 18, they had to be in school, and they were getting food stamps, and they were getting hundreds of dollars of food stamp. I could only get $16 for me and my brother at the time. And we really needed it. I was making like $8 an hour and paying for $500 rent. Like $500 is great. We don't even see that now. And it was just really hard. So there is a black population, or was a black population in Tucson, Arizona, but it's very minimum now. Everybody has moved because the benign and neglect that they did. It was very hard. So I understand why Chicago, New York, even here, I live in Texas, these Democratic ran cities, even though we have Governor Abbott shipping him off to like New York and Chicago, most of these cities, I live in a predominantly black city. We still have immigrants, illegal immigrants, still here, still getting aid, still running, still running stuff. Excuse my language, I'm sorry. And it has to stop. I didn't defend the Constitution and swore in for anything if they don't stop this. And I'm doing everything I can to talk to my aunt, who doesn't even want to talk to me anymore because she's on the K-Hive. Like, I told her that I don't want to talk to her about politics. She's like, you need to vote. I don't need to vote. If I don't stand by anything, what is my two-year-old son in 2050 gonna do when he's competing with all these illegal immigrants that have established themselves because they decided to just allow this to happen? The blue. I mean, the Republicans, we know that they've never done. They've always showed us who they've been forever. But the Democrats, I don't care. I don't care. If I'm suffering, let everybody suffer. That's how I feel. Let everybody suffer. That's comfortable. That's comfortable right now. And that's it. I'm going to land my plane right there. We keep up this fight. FBA forever. So thank you.
Much respect, sister. Much respect. And I appreciate that. Appreciate your service as well, sister. Much respect. Absolutely. I agree 100%. I'm glad that you actually brought those points to the table, because that's really what we're getting at right now, is the fact that we're being dismissed and we're being denied. We're being dismissed and denied based on people who aren't even from here. And it's happening based on the party that we vote for. The Democrats should be absolutely 100% loyal to Black Americans. Every single election that they've won has been because of us. And they treat Black Americans less than dirt. They treat us like we are their property and they own us, and they disrespect us openly, not just with their policies, with their words. They send people out to cuss us out all the time. Who cusses out Black Americans more than a Democrat? Democrats say all types of things about us, not to mention, like I say, they act like they're the arbitrators of us. And then they bring in all these people that are being elevated above us. And I'm glad that you brought up 2050 when your child is, grown. And that's why I bring up Project 2055, because the kids today will be in adulthood during that time. And there's a decision and there's a choice that's going to be made. Are they going to grow up in a world where the Democratic plantation was canceled and we seen through and we rejected all of these plays and all these hustles that they're doing about putting these people here on top of us? Or are we going to see them in a world where we have actually taken that and you got all of these new folks coming in and they've actually been put into positions. They've been put here. We talk about these people being able to vote. We're talking about these people coming here and getting plays above us. We're seeing these people get driver's license. They're being police officers. Who you think they pulling over, y'all? You really think a migrant who just got here from Nicaragua, you think he's pulling over blonde hair, blue eyes Karen? Or is he pulling over all the black people? Because remember, in Nicaragua, he wants to be the dominant society. He don't want to be us, because hell, they treat dark folks bad down there. They're coming here with anti-black racism. Anybody who's left the United States of America, especially if you went anywhere in Mesoamerica, South America, you realize these people don't like us. All right, straight up and down. They don't like their black people. Their black folks ain't even on the census. So when they come here and they see certified foundational black Americans who are proud of who we are, then you got problems. And not to mention, there's an unspoken, unwritten rule that migrants have with the dominant society, and that is they come here, they come down on us, and then they get benefits in return. That's why if you look around, family, they own all of these damn convenience stores in our neighborhoods. Once again, for the 100th time, you think that's an accident. How many times can something happen before you realize that it's orchestrated? It's absolutely orchestrated. So these people are getting put in positions of power. You remember that Nui Martinez chick out there in California where she was talking bad about the blacks, right? What happened? A bunch of people from her community, they formed a wall around her and they protected her. That's Project 2055. They want to see that everywhere. All right. They want to see that instituted all throughout the United States of America. So when you're getting pulled over by Julio, or you're going into a courtroom and the damn judge is a migrant and he's throwing the book at black folks, but then the W comes in there and they pass the person right off. That's by design. That's why I say you have an immigrationist supremacist, and their job is to have the immigrants and the migrants do the dirty work. Take Barack Obama. Barack Obama, he wanted to take Negro out of the books. And he wanted to also at the same time get rid of the term illegal alien. See, I'm old enough to remember when they called it illegal alien. So look at that right there. He said, let's take off things that can identify black Americans and let's take things that are seen as derogatory towards the migrants. That's what he was doing. That's what he was up to. And if you look, the Democrats have a plethora of these policies and they're not going to stop. Kamala Harris and the whole Democratic K-hive, that's what they want. They want Kamala Harris to win so you can see some absolutely radical migrant policies. They already have radical migrant policies now. They want to take it a step up. They want to increase it. They want to go up 5 notches. If Kamala Harris is forced into presidency, then you will see some absolutely radical policies in terms of that. I promise you. Trust me when I tell you that. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump just right now, he's in Madison Square Garden, and he said you got a lot of people coming from Africa and they're coming from prisons. And you're already seeing the Democrats saying, oh, there go racist Trump again. No, it's actually been confirmed. I know the Democrats have a false sense of reality. I know they live in a world of they just make things up. No, it's been proven. The actual president of Venezuela said, no, we are opening up our insane asylums and our jails and we're sending them to America. And do you know we can't even deport people back to Venezuela because the Venezuelan government said we're sending them to America and we will not accept them. And let me give you another term for these people. It's called foreign national. Do you know, based on the Los Angeles Declaration and a lot of these other North American committees, that these people are all viewed as foreign nationals, not just migrants? All right, migrants is a loose street term. These people are all seen as foreign nationals. That's why they get all these benefits. That's why they get all these resources. These are not policies of Donald Trump. These are not policies of the boogeyman. These are policies of the Democratic Party, the same one that black folks been voting blindly for 60 years. Let's get to the brass tacks of the situation. That ain't going nowhere. You're only going to see it push forward because they've already put a down payment of trillions of dollars on this illegal migrant invasion. So when we're talking about a down payment of trillions of dollars, that means if Donald Trump comes in and he says, I'm sending them all back home or taking them to jail, that means they out of some money. And we all know in a savage capitalistic society like the United States of America, where money is more important than a person, there are going to be some real problems if they put that $1 trillion down payment on and then Donald Trump comes around here and he messes it up. And the fact that foundational black Americans, we have their destiny in our hands simply by voting couch or voting against Kamala, no matter who, we have a play in this. So it all boils down to trillions of dollars that brings migrants into the United States of America in an apparatus that goes as far as the UN. Or foundational Black Americans voting for the couch, not voting for them, they don't win, and all that money goes down the drain. It's a beautiful day to be FBA because unlike the past, y'all, we control the future. Go ahead, Melissa.
One more thing. Also, with those foreign nationals, they will use, meaning the Democrats, they will use, and some of the Republicans, war to have them come over here and reap off of and suck what they can out of our resources as well. They'll use, in the name of war, we have to, they have asylum. And then there's other people that follow on the bandwagon and come over here. So that's another thing I wanted to add. And that's it for me. I'm done. I'm done with this. So
I appreciate that. No, absolutely. Good game. Good game. It's war-torn countries. We're running from gangs, even though they're gang members. How you a gang member running from a gang that you're a part of, and somehow your gang in Mexico ends up in Nebraska? That's what we call cap. That's a lie. So you're absolutely right. They use every single tactic they can. That's why I said we have to change the way we view migrants. It's not these people who are coming over here who are just poor folks and they jump in the border to come over here so they can seek some type of, refuge from their homeland. No. These are people who are coming here and they're trying to create a vacuum of resources, and the dominant society is giving it to them. And a lot of these are gang members. You're literally seeing these migrant shelters. You're seeing them run up on police officers. We all seen out there in New York. I got some New Yorkers in the building right now. You know what I'm saying? Including my wife, my lovely wife, by the way, my beautiful wife. We got some real New Yorkers in the building. And we know at these migrant shelters, they're out there openly, actively recruiting other people to be a part of these South American gangs. I know people from Latin America, and they told me personally, America's not ready for the Latin criminals and the Latin gangs to come here. And those are the people that Kamala Harris is bringing here, not by the hundreds or the thousands, by the millions. Literally. I've seen it. I've seen them say, hey, I'm telling you, Black Alpha, these people going to come here. They bringing these gangs. They're going to knock on that door. And when that door answers, they're going to come on in and you're not getting them out. They're going to be here for real, for real. And you're seeing it all through these migrant shelters. And what are you hearing from the Democrats or from the mainstream media? Nothing. Quiet. They don't speak about that. That's why I call it shadow migrants. Even in this election, y'all, I'm going to be real. I don't think immigration and the migrant crisis has been spoke of enough. That's one of the biggest problems in the United States of America, and it's crossing all racial lines. You got white folks, you got Black folks, and you got Latinos who are all seeing this for what it is. I don't think it's really been spoke of enough. When Donald Trump brings it up, they just dismiss it as there go the boogeyman again. And Kamala Harris, they don't even talk to her about it. And if she does, she just blames Trump. Somehow throughout this election cycle, the migrant crisis, which if you look at all the polls, which Americans say is one of the top two main issues in the United States of America, has not really been spoken of. That's why I say they're trying to create this shadow migrant crisis. Now, it's only a shadow migrant crisis when you're watching television or you're listening to Kamala speak, because it's damn sure not a shadow migrant crisis when you walk out your front door. I've actually seen migrants riding around in Georgia, no lie, in an actual school bus, y'all. And the damn school bus didn't have no windows. I'm not lying. I've actually seen migrants pull up to the Family Dollar and they got interpreters. Do you guys know how much it is to put an interpreter with these people? Like our brother said earlier, they're being coached up. That was a damn good point. Damn good, brother. They're being coached up and they're having interpreters follow them around. You have handlers following them around and they're coming from everywhere. And let's be real. We're only talking about the southern border. What about the northern border? Because I know for a fact, again, that a lot of folks is coming in through the northern border. My brother Big Zilla was speaking earlier about what's going on up there in the Pacific Northwest. Them folks is coming straight on through down from Canada. Yep. There's never been a migrant crisis in America or in the world as bad as it is here. You see it going on over there in Europe, but see, in Europe, they'll sink your boat. So when you pull up to Europe, they go ahead and put it down. It's so bad in Europe that a bunch of European countries, they actually want to leave the European Union. But here in America, you got them saying, no, let's just go ahead and do it. Because if you're the dominant society, who are the only people getting in the way of what you want to implement? Foundational Black Americans. All right. I always say this world is one lineage away from absolute dominance from the dominant society. And that lineage is us. So they go out there and they recruit all these brown folks who are willing participants. Let's go there. They're willing participants in the erasure of us. When Chuck Schumer throws a press conference on a damn Wednesday at 2:00, and he says, we want to bring in 11 million illegals, documented or undocumented. That is a dog whistle to the whole planet Earth. Get your ass here to America. Why you think these people come all here to America? Because the Democratic Party has been telling everybody with a big ass goddamn bullhorn, come to America, you're welcome. They don't just show up here. Trust me, when Donald Trump is president, they're not going to be showing up in droves because they know what's going to be waiting for them. But when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was in office, by the way, Kamala was the border czar, all right? And then they try to say that didn't happen. You literally see the footage of Joe Biden saying that she's the border czar. And she also said she never been to the border because the border czar to them is actually to let everybody in. But they have a bullhorn and they tell everybody, come on in. You got to see the way supremacy talks. They talk in circles, y'all. They were basically telling the world, every time you hear a Democrat talk and they talk about how well they're going to treat migrants, or they talk about these war-torn countries, they're telling them people, y'all get here fast. We have an open door policy. That's what they tell them. There's places down here in the South where they have something called, what I deemed it, this is my terminology, I call it sanctuary organizations. All right. So you have these organizations that provide sanctuary to illegals in places that are non-sanctuary cities. You see it right here down south. I was doing an investigative study and an investigative report a couple of weeks ago, actually, where I had to go into the deep, deep south. And I was finding these churches, no lie, I was finding these churches that provide resources and benefits for illegal migrants in places that are not even sanctuary cities. You have traveling sanctuary organizations, and they go around to places where it is not deemed a sanctuary city, and they provide the same benefits for those people. Trust me when I tell you. A simple Google search, you will see it. And I was on a deep, deep investigative study, and I was down in the deep south. And you're seeing it all through Georgia, obviously through Florida. You're seeing it everywhere. This is what they're doing. So it's an apparatus at top. That's why I say it's Project 2025. That's why I say vote against Kamala no matter who, because she's going to implement these things even further. And to be honest with you, there's a revenge factor because they know that we've been giving Kamala Harris that work. So now they're going to try to come down on us even further because they understand these black folks is coming with it. We got to do something about it. So this is why we're pushing forward, family, and we're making sure that everybody knows what's out there. One of the things that we do in the new black media, the grassroots, the Vanguard, Certified Black Society, we just frame the picture from our brothers and sisters, and then we give it to the world. So I listen to what my brothers and sisters are saying all throughout the 50 states so we can highlight it, because we can't wait for the news to talk about it, because, again, they're not speaking about anything. It's all one big secret. If you study and you do research about the migrant crisis, it'll blow your mind. First thing you'll find out is they'll talk about 11 million. And guess what, family? That's on the books, because from people I know personally who are on the border, and even Donald Trump's mentioned it, it's closer to 22 million people. Now you're kind of starting to hear him say 22 more often, y'all. Remember, they used to first say, since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris were in charge, it was only probably about 6 to 7. And then 6 to 7 turned into 10, 11. Now 10, 11 is turning into 2022. I hear that there's been 22 million illegals. And that's not even to mention the ones that were here before Joe Biden. So you're talking about on the books and you're talking about off the books. Imagine more years of those policies, family. You won't even be able to understand or even visualize the complete structural change of the United States of America. And that is the Democrats' Project 2055. Basically, when any kid now is into adulthood, they're going to be looking at an America with everybody else. So you've already seen it the last 3 years. You'll see it more unless it's vote against Kamala no matter who. My brother Afro back up here, he's one of the experts on this subject. Go ahead, family.
Last week, a couple of days ago, it wasn't even a week ago, I went to a commissioner board meeting of Cook County, and there was 29 call-ins, or there's 29 speakers. Some of them were call-ins. Some of the speakers were from Hispanic organizations that work alongside what they call immigrant relief. What they were doing was they were telling Cook County that they wanted to repeal a law and ban the ability for third-party entities to sell information to ICE. Because what happens is ICE cannot get certain information to detain or to deport a lot of these illegals that are coming over here, because the Chicago Police Department has been banned from working with them. You have Lori Lightfoot signing administrations that forbid the Chicago Police Department from working with ICE and any government agency in Chicago to cooperate with ICE. So ICE doesn't have any type of cooperation at all from them. So what ICE does, they don't just do this in Chicago, but I know they do it in Chicago, but not just in Chicago. So what ICE does is ICE goes to third-party entities where they store your information. And, you know, when you sign up for like a website, you sign up for a program or something like that, you got to put your name, you got to put your address, if you're documented, undocumented. These third-party entities, what they do is they'll sell the information to ICE, and then ICE will keep track of that. And then next thing you know, whenever that person leaves the state, or whenever that person whenever ICE will grab that person. So I'm telling you that to tell you, a lot of these Hispanics are coming over. They came over to the council meeting, and they were saying that they want to ban third-party entities from selling their information and working with ICE to make it harder for ICE to catch and deport all of these immigrants. And I'm saying this to tell you guys that as difficult as it is currently to get rid of them, they are going to make it damn near, if she gets in office, they're going to make it damn near impossible. They're going to repeal any type of law. They're going to put bunch of bans. They're going to make it damn near impossible. ICE is going to be damn near non-existent. ICE is going to be non-existent, because what they're doing now is they're saying, okay, now we have them over here. We don't need more. We can close the border for right now and work on our process of making sure that they can't leave. We don't even want the threat of them getting kicked out of here, and I'm going to tell you why, because they know for a fact that most of these people don't have the legal standing to stay here. Most of these people, if they go to immigration court, which is what a lot of them are doing, a lot of them are just skipping the court. A lot of them have immigration dates to go to the court to hear their, for the judge to hear their asylum case. And most of them just don't go. Most of them don't go, and they don't go because they know for a fact if the judge hears their case, they will be denied. If you come to the country for asylum and you get denied, that means you have to go back. So they just don't go to their country. So they understand that they can't do that. So what they're doing now is they're trying to eliminate any way where they can be deported whatsoever. So that's when I was up here earlier, I was talking about them expediting the nationalization process by giving them work visas, all of these things, so they can get some type of form of identification. So they don't have they're not quote unquote undocumented. They do have some type of documentation, even if the documentation is based off of falsehood. They do that. Another thing as well, too, they're going to make it damn near impossible for ICE to be able to do anything at all, especially in Democratic run states and cities. So as far as, and what's crazy about that is that's where most of them are being housed. Now, a lot of them are spread all over the place, but a lot of them are being housed, and their like base of operations are in places like Chicago, definitely New York, Colorado, Los Angeles, all of these places. These are their bases of operations. And you have these like, Alpha, I forgot the term that you said, these like organizations that are working on behalf of the immigrants. So, and really on behalf of the Democratic Party. These are people who are claiming to be nonprofit organizations, but they're really working on behalf of the Democratic Party to seem like a grassroots organization on behalf of the immigrants. So the Democratic Party doesn't get their hands dirty by trying to get rid of ICE's ability to deport people. So what we have to understand is a lot of these organizations that are claiming to be pro-immigrant and all that stuff, these are groups that has been formed and operated and managed by the Democratic Party. But the Democratic Party can't say that they want to eliminate ICE because that would be too radical. So we have to understand this. And we have to understand if she gets in office and if we keep the Democratic Party in power, because we have to understand, and now I know I said we have to understand like 5 times already, but this is bigger than just Kamala. If the Democratic Party stays in power, we can pretty much forget about any type of ICE. They might as well disband ICE because they're going to make it impossible for ICE to deport people.
Brother, I want everybody to realize this, family. I want everybody to realize this. When you're talking about Afro-Elite, you're talking to somebody who actually interviewed a migrant, okay? All right, not a friend of a migrant or a homie or somebody distant, actually interviewed a migrant. All right. So, and just like I want to say, what was our brother up here earlier? Our brother Black Truth United, like he was saying, he actually spoke to one of these people being coached up. So you're seeing the actual play that these people are up to and what they're doing. Since we here now, since we chopping game, family, we in here, we chopping real heavy game. All right. We got 200 people in here. Damn, let's go. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Black Alpha Network and my brother Afro while we're here too. I want y'all, if y'all get the opportunity, type in something called migrant equity. All right. Type in migrant equity. And I want you to look at these organizations. This is the sanctuary organizations, family. So to frame it, you have sanctuary cities, which is a place where you can break the law freely and you can harbor fugitives and take good care of them, which, by the way, in every definition of the Constitution and law, that is completely criminal. And the Democrats openly tell you that. So you have a place where you can clearly, openly break the law. And then you have these little organizations that move around with impunity and they protect these people in the process. And migrant equity, if you guys check that out, I want you to see they're connected to an organization called Latino Community Fund. And you have a Latino Community Fund in Georgia. You have one in Illinois. You have one in Ohio. You have one in Colorado. And that's the bigger one. That's the mothership. And if you go look at them and you study the mothership and you start to look at who actually funds them, it's a who's who of who funds these people. I don't know, organizations like Coca-Cola, Humanity United. You're talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center. You're talking about even Georgia Power, where we have to pay our bills here down in Georgia. Okay. So when we go pay our light bill down here in Georgia, that's going to these sanctuary organizations that bring migrants resources that Black folks can't even get. Let me tell y'all, a lot of people know I couldn't go live a couple of weeks ago when the first hurricane came. All right. When the first one came, I couldn't go live because it knocked out all my power. So my broadcast couldn't, be done. So what I did instead, while I'm watching FEMA and you're hearing about all these things with FEMA, they don't have any money. By the way, let's not forget about that scandal as well with Kamala. She sat there and just lied and said, oh, no, FEMA's going to take care of you. With the FEMA guy, literally, not even lying. Democrats got to work on their lies, too. All right. Because one person will say something, the other person will say something else. They lie like a damn third grader. So Kamala says that, oh, yeah, we got the money. Everything's kosher. Everything's copacetic. The FEMA guy's literally there saying, oh, we ain't got the money. And so is that House press secretary. She says, oh, the money's going to migrants. So the money for FEMA goes to migrants while Americans are literally seeing their houses float down the damn street. And y'all notice how quick that went out the news, y'all? Y'all notice about everything that happened in Georgia and North Carolina? Y'all notice that went out the news real quick. I'm telling you, they protect this. And I'm talking about the mainstream media and all of these people. They do not really go in on this migrant crisis because it would expose the Democratic plantation and it would expose that element of supremacy that they don't want to really be seen. While FEMA's taking all the money and giving it to migrants, Americans are suffering. Same here. As I sit here and I say, I'm looking at a lot of people who are near me, and there was a massive cleanup. I'm talking about obviously like anybody who's been through a hurricane or a natural disaster. There's power lines down, there's fences down. People were down here struggling, no power for days. That's what was happening. So I went to go assist some people. I wanted to go help some people out. I wanted to go see what was really going on. In the process of all of this, family, do you know, I said, Black Alpha, I want you to go look at that migrant organization, see what they're getting. Do y'all know that during the hurricane crisis, that same migrant organization I was just talking to you about, the sanctuary organization that moves from city to city, state to state with impunity, do you know they were having food drives for migrants that Americans couldn't even get access to? That's the investigative journalism that I was doing. That's the study that I was on when I was just referring to you guys 10 minutes ago about. I went to actually go see what was really happening and seen that they were having some resources and some brunches where migrants show up and then they give you food, while Americans were actually out here starving because, you know, power's out, your food is no good. All right. That's what was happening to American citizens, while the migrants were living absolutely copacetic because they already had the resources allocated for them by this sanctuary organization that operates as a sanctuary city that's been blessed by the Democratic plantation. It goes way deeper than Donald Trump is just the boogeyman who don't want these brown people here. All right. That's what is going on. That's what we're talking about. And you see it through all, you know, throughout the whole 50 states. This is the organizational structure of the migrant crisis, family. So this is why we call it out. And the more we expose it, we have to, because again, you're not going to hear this anywhere else. Well, my brother Afro was just telling you, well, the sister Melissa was just telling you, what my brother right here, Black Truth United, was talking about. You're never going to see this on mainstream media. You're only going to see this when you deal with Black Americans out here. I'm talking about all of y'all. We're going to be the only one seeing it. Y'all seen out there. I've seen plenty of videos. I've lost count. I seen a Black American sister and her mother. Did y'all see that one where they were being kicked out of their apartment? And the lady was like, hey, man, you know, I still got the keys. They're saying, oh, no, you turned in your keys. Your mom did. She called her mom. Her mom said, no, I didn't. And they were kicking them out and they were moving migrants in. Y'all remember right up there, I think right there where you at, Afro in Chicago, where the brothers and sisters couldn't even play Little League because they was moving in all the migrants to stay there. Hotels getting kicked out. And then they actually hire private firms and private security firms that don't allow people to go do the investigations. Family, it runs crazy deep. And that's why we've been giving them crazy work. And that's why we've been out here really breaking down this migrant crisis. It shouldn't even be in this situation where the border shouldn't be open for anybody to come in. I will say this as well. And this is a crazy thing. Let me tell you something, family. It's called allegiance of convenience. Shout out to everybody in here who's from Texas. I don't know if we got Texas in the house, but if Texas is in the house, certified salute to you, because they not playing down in Texas. Okay, Harry, you Texas? Okay, fam. I don't know if you are or not, but if you are, family, much respect, but much love. What I can do to answer that question, I don't know what's going on with that whole situation. I believe naturally it's just open borders and anybody can come in. I mean, is it really just about that guy coming in? Or is it about the gang members come in? And then y'all know about the children missing. I'm not going to get into that. And by the way, if they care so much about these migrants, have y'all seen how many children are missing and the tracking of those children? And by the way, you can look at it right now. You're on X. Go ahead, type it in, Google it. It's out there. This is what I'm saying, family. It's not hidden receipts. These receipts are out there. The only people denying it are the Democratic plantation and the Democratic shills. This Democratic Project 2055 is out there. Everything that we say is not even that much of a deep dive. It's there. You see these people crossing the border, and Donald Trump's out there telling everybody, Kamala, where are the kids at? I heard it's 12,000 kids that they can't account for. Now, remember, the same Democrats were saying how Donald Trump was so bad because he was separating kids at the border. Y'all remember that? He's putting kids in cages. So on one end, they say that Donald Trump is putting kids in cages. So Joe Biden gave them reparations. Don't forget, y'all. He gave them reparations because Donald Trump supported putting them in cages, and Donald Trump separated them at the border. They got a reparations check because of that. All right. That's what they did. So the Democrats cried foul that Donald Trump was putting them in cages. It was such a dreaded thing. But yet these kids are missing, and Kamala ain't said a damn thing about them. And she's the border czar. So they cared about Trump putting the kids in cages, but they don't care about the 12,000 missing. And if y'all look, the footage is out there. It's clear. You can't even dispute it. All right. It's clear that that's what they're doing. Now, it's not my problem. So, Mr. Julio, you're going to have to handle your own problems. And Mr. Julio going to have to check that and take care of your family, Julio. That's not my problem. But I will expose it. And I will expose the bigotry and the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party. They don't really give a damn because they want the people to come here and do the dirty work. And those people are more than willing to come here and do the dirty work. So the fact is the guy that I referred to earlier that crossed the border, and the gang members who crossed the border, and all the people who come from the insane asylums who crossed the border, this has all been confirmed. I mean, literally, the video's out there. You're not looking at a cartoon and it's a sketch. It's real human beings crossing the border who are some serious people coming from bad backgrounds. And I don't want to hear how bad Donald Trump is. Remember when Trump said there's some bad hombres? Remember, he said that in 2016, and they dismiss it. Anytime they hit you with that boogeyman stuff, family, it ends up having a negative effect because it's basically saying we're not going to hear the truth because our agenda is to make Trump look bad. I don't care who's saying it. The fact of the matter is it's happening and everybody's witnessing it. So it's open border policy. You see literally gangs are coming here and the borders are as wide open as they ever could be. I told everybody, I said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it 1,001 times, y'all. I've been down to the border and I've been to Mexico. All right. When I was at the rally for reparations, but I got into it with some people, some Democratic shills, and we were debating. And the lady was like, "You ever been down to the border?" I said, "Yeah." She thought she was dealing with a regular guy. I said, "Yeah, I have." And I'm telling you, I've seen the people hop the border and I've seen them go straight to the club. The borders are open, y'all. No problemo. They come here, they go party. The borders are open. America's an open house right now. And literally, we don't know who's coming here. And when Donald Trump says that these people are coming from insane asylums, these people have actually admitted it. Like, yeah, they have. You know what I'm saying? So when we sit here and say that folks are coming from everywhere, that's what's happening. But to bring it back to Texas, you see in Texas, Governor Abbott, what did he do? He classified these gangs as terrorist organizations. So don't sit here and tell me that Mrs. Bordazar can't do the same thing. They're not playing in Texas with it. He said, okay, you come here on some gang stuff. We're classifying y'all as open terrorists. And he's instituting terrorist acts. Let's go there to the solution. We talked about the problem. And these are very simple solutions. Let me be the goddamn president. I'm going to tell you right now, the border would be done in about 24 hours. It'd be done in because it ain't that difficult, y'all. It ain't that difficult. Is it a hard time, family, shutting the door in your house? Does that take a difficult time? Does it take 5 years to figure out how to shut your door? Let's go there. If America is your house, okay, like everybody talk about, they want to talk about America's the country and it's my family and my home. That's what they talk about. Does it take a hard time for you to close your front door or your back door? Does it? And that's about as easy as it is to close the damn borders. Don't let nobody tell you different. And anybody who claims that they can't fix the migrant crisis or the open border policies is someone who's lying, and they really want to keep it open so they can elevate these migrants over foundational Black Americans. That's the bottom line of the situation. It takes 2 seconds. Governor Abbott said, you come here, we're designating your gangs as a terrorist organization. And simultaneously, Donald Trump said, we're instituting the Alien Enemies Act. And by the way, that's an act from the 1700s. He done went back to the 1700s and dusted off an act that is completely going to stifle the migrant crisis. And he's calling for the death penalty for any migrant who comes here and harms an American. And he's also saying if you come here and you violate, then you're going to definitely go to jail. He said it's an automatic prison sentence. I don't think Julio's going to be one to come here real quick, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Julio's going to want to come here that fast. I know my brother Afro Elite knows a lot about this as well. Matter of fact, go ahead, brother. Elaborate on that for the family.
What Donald Trump is doing, because of the fact that these people, the Democratic Party messed this up so bad, what he's doing is he's saying that due to the danger that they are causing, and they are causing a huge danger in a crisis, not just to the economy, but to the overall safety of the American citizens, he can dust that act off and invoke that act, which allows, and this is what Greg Abbott labeling them as a terrorist organization allows him to do, because when you're just talking about illegal immigrants, that's ICE and their department of handling that. Now, when you label them a terrorist,
stepping to a department that's above ICE, when you label them a terrorist organization, now you can get the CIA to be involved in that, and the FBI to be involved in that, and ICE to be involved in that. Since what they're doing is they're trying to depower the abilities ICE has when it comes to deporting them, because they're trying to use, and this is why we've been saying this for the last couple of years, they're trying to put this blatant label on 100% of them that they're asylum seekers. If you change the label and say, well, these people are breaking federal law, they're coming in through illegal means, and you can use the source of the crimes that they have been confirmed to commit, and you start relabeling them as terrorists because they are not technically asylum seekers, now you get to allow other departments to step in. And when you allow other departments to step in, there's no way they're going to be all like, well, the CIA can't work in here. There's no executive order that they're going to be able to pass to stop the CIA and the FBI to be able to work over it. So that's one of the strategies that they're going to be implementing in places like Chicago and New York. That's one of the strategies. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Damn, big facts, brother. Big facts. Big facts. And actually, I'm going to come back to you, brother, because I got another question for you, and I want you to elaborate for the family. I'm going to set it off. The bill that they talk about, well, Donald Trump, he the bill. Think about it, y'all. Isn't it real suspicious that every time someone talks about the problems at the border, There's always a Democrat in the way talking about how it's a problem. Find out who the person who's always complaining about it, and then you found your damn suspect. If this was a case, all right, and you were a detective, and you wanted to find who had the motive to keep this migrant crisis going, you got your answer, and all signs point to the Democrats. If you bring up anything about the migrant crisis, they start saying, well, we can't do nothing about it. If you bring up what Donald Trump said, oh, that's racist. If we say something, it's really a black issue. It seems like there's only one party that's running consistent interference on closing the borders. It seems like the only candidate who can't answer a direct question about the borders without deflecting is coming from the Democratic plantation. Anytime you see them bring up the border and what we need to do, and if anyone brings it up, the Democrats will pop up and be like, well, we can't really now because we're not sure if it would, but it wouldn't. It seems as if the Democrats are guilty because it's their creation. You want to know why they don't want the borders closed? Because the borders being open is their creation. It all goes back to them. It all goes back to them, y'all. This is Project 2025. All right. But it's their version of Project 2025, and it's going to go all the way to Project 2055. Trust me, this is the plan that they have. It's all written down. It's scripted, y'all. It's all actual factual receipts that have been seen. All you got to do is just open your eyes and you see it. You see it. Imagine, family, if you say, hey, I'm going to go to the bank and I got me a paycheck right now and I'm going to go cash my $5,000 paycheck. And out of nowhere, someone says, man, I wouldn't do that now. And you say, why? And they say, because it's raining. You say, and then you say, okay, well, now let me go. They say, well, no, really, you shouldn't go. Why? Because there's a lot of traffic. No, I'm going to go anyway. And then they come back again for the 15th time and say, well, you shouldn't really go cash your check. Well, why not this time? Because it's a Thursday. That don't want you to get your money. All right. That's the suspect in this whole goddamn crime. And that's exactly what the Democrats do. Don't close the border because of this. Don't close it because of that. Don't close it because of that over there, across the street, around the corner, or down the street from the Winn-Dixies. The Democrats don't want it closed, y'all. They just don't want to be exposed for saying it. They want to keep the borders open and not get caught in the process. So when Donald Trump comes and he talks about this bill, don't forget, y'all, that bill that they was out there, and they say Donald Trump killed the bill. How the hell he killed the bill when he was a private citizen? He was a private citizen. You can't, because the damn bill was already out there and it was a trash bill anyway. They don't talk about that bill was not about deportations. That bill was basically saying this. Let me give you an example of that bill. All right. Once again, I'll use your home. America's our home. We built this country. I'll use this as an example. In your house, you got 11 million criminals in your house. And they want to write a bill to keep out criminals. But they didn't say nothing about taking them 11 million already in your house and sending them home. That's what that bill was about. It wasn't about removing people who are already here. It was about just maybe slightly stopping folks who are coming in. And I don't believe that either. They wanted to keep that bill and push that as some type of legislation that's prominent and paramount. No, it wasn't, y'all, because it didn't do anything about deportation. It gave amnesty. Soon as the ink would have dried on that, y'all, it meant that everybody here, and by the way, I told you, take whatever numbers they give you and go ahead and quadruple it. And that's from very, very strong sources. It really would have gave amnesty to about, in my belief, 30 million people. 30 million people. By the way, remember, Joe Biden said that the people who are here in America undocumented, he said they're already citizens anyway. So that's how he feels about it. It wouldn't have did anything about deportations at all. That's the migrant crisis again. And this all falls on the lap of Kamala Harris, somebody who is running for president right now. We are about a week away from this, and it all goes back to her. The guilt, the shame, and all of the problems are because of Kamala and Joe Biden. I don't want to hear well, she's only the vice president. Y'all know this, by the way, too. When they want to make her look good, they talk about how great of a vice president she was. Anytime we criticize her, it's, well, the vice president don't have no power. Again, they flip-flop. Left and right, right and left. Now, all of a sudden, when you call her ass out, it's, well, the vice president really didn't have power. They try to make the vice president look like the vice president is a damn janitor at a damn elementary school. They try to make it look like Kamala got the same power as a janitor at an elementary school down the street whenever you call her out. But whenever they want to talk about black girl magic, which she's not black, anytime they want to talk about breaking, shattering all the molds and breaking the glass windows, then all of a sudden, family, they want to talk about how she's this great vice president with all this power. Kamala Harris, I'm going to hold her to that. If that's what they want to use, if they want to run around here and they want to tell us that Kamala Harris shattered the glass ceiling, if they want to tell us that, and then she's some black woman and she's breaking all the rules of America, then I'm going to hold her to that standard. The standard is you're the vice president of the United States of America, so you're responsible for it. And Joe Biden is already 10,000 years old. We calling your ass out. And you were the border czar, so again, we calling your ass out. And you are responsible. Roland Martin may not hold you accountable. All right. Joy Reid may not. Broken Buck Kari Sellers. Vanessa Jones is crying somewhere. They may give you a pass. Certified Black Society's not. I'm holding Kamala Harris responsible for everything that they've been softballing and dodging, giving her. And that is directly this migrant crisis, because there wasn't 22 million people here until she got here. So if they want to tell us that she's some type of iconic figure, then she going to have to get this iconic figure responsibility. And that law that they were trying to pass, that was a sneaky way of getting all them people here in America without sending folks home. We want deportations. All right, I'm not in this thing where let's just close the border and if you're already here, you can stay. Hell no. If you came here illegally, you're a criminal. And only when it comes to the migrant crisis are criminals treated fairly. Nowhere else in the world, black person is still a piece of bubble gum. You doing 10 to 15 and they don't want to hear about nothing. Remember, Joe Biden is Mr. Crime Bill. Y'all remember his speech with the crime bill? He was talking reckless. I don't give a damn how you was raised. You're going to have to go to jail if you try to run up on my dad and my mom. Remember, he got real emotional. He was trying to make it look like every black person in America was going to break into his house and kidnap his dog. Remember that? He was real tough on crime when it came to the crime bill that locked black folks up. So was super predator Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. But when it comes to an illegal, then all of a sudden it's, well, we're going to be nice because, you know, they came here from a country where they got problems. Well, we got goddamn problems. And our problems are them. So send their home. And that's one thing when I went to the MAGA rally, I don't give a damn what they was talking about, where we can meet in the middle. Because remember, this business, I'm not here to be your friend, MAGA. I'm here to kick that reality. And me and my brothers and sisters going to get that bag. You want to send Julio home? I want to send Julio home. We can shake hands and meet in the middle on that. Mr. Mutombo can leave. We can shake hands on that. I'm not here to be friends with no political party. I'm here to do business. And I'm going to say it like this. I believe that if my brother Marcel, I see Marcel was in here. Marcel, you go and you talk to these folks, you going to leave with a bag. All right. My brother Afro going to leave with a bag. My brother Harry Tubman Pistol going to leave with a bag. All right. My man Ray Sabo going to leave with a bag. EJ going to leave with a bag. That's the real. Queen Alpha going to leave with a bag. That's what we going to do. This little thing where we're going to attack every Republican and we're going to say, we just can't talk to y'all. That don't do nothing. Family, think about how counterintuitive that is. Think about how destructive that is. We are in a duopoly system where you got two actual parties. Well, you got 3, 4 now, but predominantly you got two. The Democrats and a lot of black folks say we only going to rock with one. Well, then you only going to get nothing and they're going to lowball you. I always give the example. You mean to tell me you're negotiating a contract and you got two people willing to give you money and you tell one side, oh, we're not going to work with you. We're going to stay on this side. Well, then that's why you ain't going to get nothing. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to lowball your ass. And we've been getting lowballed economically, through education, and just through everything in society. It's because of this love affair with the Democrats. They literally get Donald Trump to actually show up at the black journalist thing, and they attack the man. They start talking about some Donald Trump. Why are you so racist? They came there and attacked this man. You literally had a presidential candidate that actually took his time out to come talk to you, and you ambushed him. That wasn't cool. Roland Martin's in the crowd yelling at him. Who gave these people the right to speak for us? That's the question I ask for y'all. Who gave these people the right to speak for black Americans? Who gave these people the right to sabotage our political business? Who gave the Democrats the right to hate on black American women and say, if your man votes for Donald Trump, he don't really love you? Who the hell gave them the right to say that? Because the sisters I know don't say that. Who gave them the right to tell black men that you don't really love your wife if you don't go vote for Kamala Harris? Who gave them the right to tell us that Kamala Harris is black when we ain't find no blackness in her? She don't look like none of us. The Democrats have this power over the black community that the off-coded folks back in the day gave them. You can't have that no more because it's deeper than just policy, y'all. The Democrats, every single damn election, black folks, identity politics, and race comes up, and they're always spinning it. Brother, I know you know a lot about that bill that they try to say that Donald Trump bill and all that. Family, tell everybody exactly how they was trying to cap on us.
Okay. I was going to break this down on YouTube, and I still might, but the thing is that the bill is incredibly long. It's incredibly repetitive. It's quite frankly very boring. And they have it that way because they don't want people to actually go through the bill. So that's why I haven't really opened the bill up and went through the bill step by step, because it's just so long and repetitive. But ultimately, what the bill does is the bill prevents or the bill allows the president to close the border if, and this is the exception, if the number of migrants that day, temporarily close the border, keep this in mind, if the number of migrants that day exceed 4,000. So that means if 3,500 come in, the president still can't close the border. The president can only temporarily close the border if over 4,000 of them come over. All right. So that was an issue that a lot of people had a problem with. Another thing is they talk about the bill was going to allocate more funding for the Border Patrol to stem the flow of fentanyl. She keeps talking about it was going to stem the flow of fentanyl, but she never really gives any details about how it was going to stem the flow of fentanyl. It was going to provide resources for that. The resources is checking them. The resources is stopping them from being able to come in. When you talk about slowing the flow of fentanyl, that's one of the reasons why she never gives any detail. Because when you actually look in the bill, it doesn't really specify the methods of slowing the flow of fentanyl. It talks about how bad fentanyl is in America and how much we need to stop fentanyl and how much we need to stem the flow of fentanyl and how many families. The bill is very emotional. It talks about how the families have been harmed by the flow of fentanyl, and then saying, well, we need more resources to slow the flow of fentanyl, but it doesn't specify exactly where the resources would go, where the money would go to what resources that was going to slow the flow of fentanyl and how that was going to happen. Because you can't slow the flow of fentanyl and then allow open borders. That's the thing. It's an oxymoron. For you to allow them to come over here, crawl under barbed wire, jump the gate and swim through the lake and come over here and then just stay here, you can't say we're going to allow that to happen, but we're also going to put in the effort to slow the flow of fentanyl. You can't do that. There's people who are coming over here. They got fentanyl inside of their bodies and bags and stuff. There are methods to get fentanyl over here through illegal immigration, which is what they've been doing, which is why we have this spike in fentanyl. So they can talk about fentanyl and they can talk about all of the people that's been harmed by fentanyl, but they really don't have a method to stop it, because the only method that's effective in stopping it is closing the borders and deportation. As far as the federal judges, it did talk about putting more federal judges, immigration judges, so their cases can be heard for asylum. The issue with that is the fact that most of these people know for a fact that they don't really qualify for asylum. Most of these people really know for a fact that if their cases were actually heard for asylum, that these people would be denied. So most of these people have court dates, and it's just a handshake and a promise to show up, and that's it. And because ICE can't detain them if they miss their court date, because ICE can't deport them if they miss their court date, if they stay in sanctuary cities, most of them just don't go. Most of them just don't go to court. So you can put 1 million more immigration judges on the border to hear out the cases. But the thing is because most of these cases are illegitimate. Most of these people are not fleeing life or death persecution like the media is telling you that they are. Most of these people won't go to their court cases. So this bill, it would not have fixed the problem. This is why a lot of conservatives, there were some conservative Republicans who signed on to it, and they signed on to it because we're going to have to be honest about this. Every Republican does not like Donald Trump. There's a lot of Republicans that don't like Donald Trump, and there's a lot of Republicans that don't want to see him back in office. So when she says, yeah, a bunch of conservatives, it's not because the bill was super bipartisan. It's because a lot of those conservatives just don't like Donald Trump and didn't want him to fix the issue. And they know for a fact that immigration is a big issue that he was going to fix and that he's getting a lot of headwind and he's getting a lot of the polls are favoring him when it comes to that. The polls, I'm sorry, I was looking at a text. The polls were favoring him when it comes to immigration. So there's a lot of Republicans who, just like the Democrats, sabotage people in their own party. They don't want Trump to get in, so they're trying to sabotage his campaign as well too. So they'll sign anything when it comes to the Democrats. Now, a lot of the Democrats and Republicans, which is what they don't really want to talk about, which is what Fox News even brought up, they didn't like that, because just how I broke this down about the bill, they also admitted that the bill was a problem too. And they admitted the fact that the bill is not going to do anything. First off, the bill does not at one single point in time mention the word deportation, deport, or anything like that. It doesn't bring that up a single time. So not only are they not going to deport the tens of millions of people that they have allowed to come over here and allow more people to come over here, it was actually not going to solve any of the issues. It's not literally going to solve one. It's not going to slow the flow of fentanyl. It's not going to even allow more people to get their cases heard from asylum seeker judges. It's not going to solve a single problem that we're having with the immigration crisis going on right now, which is why a number of prominent Democrats, Bernie Sanders, what's his name, Bakari Sellers, they voted no on the bill, and a lot of Republicans voted no on the bill as well too, which is why even it didn't take that much convincing from Trump to be all like, well, yeah, we're not going to sign it. Do you honestly think that Trump, who has no political power as of today at all, he's actually just a citizen who's having a lot of legal issues right now, do you think that he has the power to tell sitting congressmen to not support a bill because it would make his campaign look bad? Who do they think Donald Trump is? They didn't have to listen to Donald Trump if they didn't want to. If they heard Donald Trump out and pulled back from the bill, that's because they had an issue with the bill. And that's because of that. And a lot of them already had not signed on to it. She's making it seem as if all of them fully agreed on the bill. Everybody around raised their hand and voted aye. And then the call from Donald Trump came, and then the Republicans pulled out. That's very inaccurate. That's not really what happened at all. Donald Trump didn't really do anything to convince anybody about the bill. He reminded people to look further into it. And when people look further into it, because a lot of people were so desperate, they just wanted any solution. When they looked further into it, they said, oh, no, I can't back this. And they pulled out. So the bill was never meant to solve anything. It was just meant to be used as a political talking point, which is the reason why it was only formed within the 6 months before the election anyway. Because Biden knew going into the debate, immigration was going to be a topic. So Biden needed to say something that he was putting in place to solve immigration. So they knew, okay, well, we're going to allow them to come in willy-nilly. And then right before the debate, we're going to come up with this bill. And then everybody's going to sign the bill. And then next thing you know, I'm going to say, well, we just passed this great bill, so the problem's being solved. And then the second, if he was to stay in office, they were going to repeal the bill. They were going to take that bill back. That was the plan. But they didn't get the signatures that they needed going into the debate, which they then decided to flip and make it seem like the border problem was on Donald Trump.
Hey, another thing that bill included too was it's going to send like large sums of money to different countries. I'm not quite sure on what it said concerning that. I was trying to find it while he was speaking, but I couldn't find it at the moment. But if y'all read it, y'all see what I'm talking about. So that's another reason why he didn't sign the bill, or why he didn't like go through with it, or what have you.
So let's get this straight, family. Okay, so we have immigration, reparations, and an anti-foundational Black American hate crime bill. All right. The Democrats are responsible for the open borders, and they've literally ran interference on every single law that could close those borders. Back to the Democrats. Reparations. They've been out here talking about reparations left and right. Kamala Harris says she supports reparations in the form of therapy. Remember that, y'all. She just said that. And then when brothers and sisters came together with a comprehensive reparations plan, the Democrats are the ones that destroyed the bill. That's two. Now let's go to the third, an anti-foundational Black American hate crime law. And you're listening to somebody who's been on the scene of two hate crimes personally. They tell us that we can't get one because it's got to be for everybody. And then we sit there and see on day one, Joe Biden hopped in his wheelchair and rode all the way down to his office, pulled out a pen, and he wrote one for the community. And they still to this day deny that they even did it, even though you can literally look at the bill and it says their name 100 different times. So that is the three things that Black Americans have completely stated time and time again are our number 1, 2, and 3 priorities. Immigration, closing them borders. Democrats getting away, reparations, they destroy the bill, and an anti-Black American hate crime protection, and they give it to everybody else. That is your Democratic Party. But as a consolation prize, y'all, they offer us voter rights straight out of 1962. And then if you feel that what they saying is not adequate and you wrong, then they're going to curse you out and call you every goddamn name in the book. And they're going to say you sound like Donald Trump. Then they're going to say you sound like a Trump supporter, you sound like a MAGA person, you sound like a Russian bot, or you just misinformed. They've made it clear, y'all. They are anti-us. And they've done it through their policies, and a lot of times they do it through their words. And remember, they flip-flop, twist, and turn and try to make it look like they're on our side, and they cuss us out when they're doing that. How the hell you cuss out somebody when you're trying to make it look like you their friend? That is the Democratic establishment. That is their party. That's their policies. That's their beliefs. And that's what they stick to. And they're not going to change ever. And the only way they will change is when foundational Black Americans make them change their address, which is Washington, D.C. in the White House or back to home where they belong. And word on the street is that Kamala Harris is already low key eyeing going back to California. So she's going to be going back to Cali. That's what she's going to be doing. And it's our job to send her ass back to Cali. And once she gets to Cali, she can go back to Canada. And once she gets to Canada, she can go back to Jamaica or wherever the hell she's from, just the hell up out of here. I think we've made it clear in this space, as well as all the other dialogue that we've had, y'all, that it's time. It's time, y'all. The election is right around the corner and we've been on code and it's a beautiful time. I remember elections coming and we was somewhere off, not being heard. No one was listening. Black folks was running around here carrying all the weight in the water for the Democratic establishment. Not now. There are too many certified brothers and sisters. And let me give a few shout outs to my certified brothers and sisters. When they came after Janet Jackson, the Black grassroots turned the hell up and we G-checked all their asses, didn't we? When they send out Barack Obama and he tried to tell us it's unacceptable not to vote for her, the Black grassroots turned the hell up. Yes, we did. And Barack Obama, he ran to Eminem's arms because he knew he couldn't come around here. When Kamala Harris came out here and she said, you better thank a union member, or whatever accent she got today, foundational Black Americans, we turned up, we clowned her, we roasted her, and we sent her ass packing. So it goes to show you, we got all the power in the world. We can expose these people, we can regulate these folks, and we can check these folks. When we went to Washington, D.C., and we had to rally for reparations, they tried to put another little rally right next to us, family, and nobody was there. That's the difference. We run the yard, we run the streets. Foundational Black Americans, as a lineage, heritage, and culture, we created this country. And now we got our flag waving. And we're letting them know whatever we decide to do, they're going to have to follow suit. We ain't even looking at them. And at this point, y'all, don't even talk to us. That's where we are. The negotiation is over. There was a time, y'all, when they had their opportunity to show us respect. They chose otherwise. There was a time to give us simple policies. They chose otherwise. Remember, y'all, they ain't even give us the big policies. They ain't even give us the little ones. Damn the big policies. They ain't even give us the smallest one because they have an unwritten rule that you don't do nothing for Black folks. You do it for every other person, but you don't do it for us. So they had their opportunity and they had their chance. Now it's time for us to show them how we get down. And if you stand on business, you can do it by sitting on the couch. You can do it by voting for another party. You can do it by completely neglecting everything that they throw at you and sending it right on back to them, right in their damn laps. That's how you change things. That is political power. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to run around here and tell you what you needs to do. That ain't the type of time that I'm on, because what I see is we stronger than ever. You know how you make somebody weak? You keep telling them that they're weak, and eventually people will believe it. See, what we do, we tell us how strong we are. And when I say us, I'm talking about us, because they not like us. We represent ourselves and we stand on power. That's why things are changing. You never seen in the past them sending out people like Barack Obama, who, by the way, was meant to rock us to sleep. We not sleeping, he is. We are the ones who sent Kamala Harris back because they thought they was going to 2.0 us. Didn't happen. We're the ones that got them running back, taking time out of their day to write up laws that ain't real and then try to give it to us. And we sent that back. So every single thing that they've given us, we sent back. It's not accurate and it's not passing our standards. And it's all about standards and practices, and it's all about rules and regulations, family. Only difference is we used to abide by theirs. Now they got to abide by ours. There used to be a time where they used to try to scare black folks. Now they're scared. There used to be a time where they wanted us to save democracy. Now they want us to save Kamala. And my simple answer to saving Kamala is hell to the no, because we went from the yes we can era to the hell to the no era. And don't it feel way better, y'all? I don't know how old y'all are, okay, but I'm sure we ain't got no churn up in here. It feels damn good to be in the hell to the no era. Hell to the no, you're not giving us your migrant crisis. Hell to the no, it ain't a black issue. Hell to the no, we're not taking therapy as reparations. Hell to the no, Kamala ain't black. And hell to the no, we ain't voting for her come election day. It's been a great time breaking it down with y'all, man. Certified salute. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to me, Black Alpha Network, every day, all day. Make sure you follow me. You guys make sure you subscribe to my brother Afro Elite. Make sure you follow him as well. Black Certified Grassroots family. The election's here. Y'all make sure y'all tap in with us, man. We're going to cover it the way we always cover it. For the people, by the people, because we are the people. There'd be no USA without FBA, man. Y'all enjoy y'all day. Stay safe, stay strong, stay vigilant. Certified salute. Peace and love.